Five, four, three, two, one. Good morning, America. Welcome to ABC News. I am Ron Burgundy. And if you
About
do
to
not
say,
know the
America.
reference,
We are international.
Ohayo gozaimasu, minasan. O genki desu
Yes.
ka?
Exactly. All of that. Como Tepla 2, all that shit.
yes, stay classy, America. Obviously, I've been watching the Anchorman. How's everybody doing? When I mean everybody, I mean how you guys doing? Last Order and Skeptic, seeing how we're missing two people today, and then Last Order had to last frantic minute fill in for two people.
Fill in a last order.
You guys need to change me to last minute order. How can I name? No.
We're gonna change your name to Last Minute Order. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. It's perfect because my whole thing was that I was gonna make it like last order, as in not just like the Final Fantasy VII reference, not just a game reference, but also for food. Like, what's your last order for a buffet?
What's the
Oh,
last order?
yeah. So that was the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, you wanted like some sort of triple entendre in your name. That's
Because I was also gonna branch out into food. Like I was getting ready, and then COVID hit. It's like crap.
all right.
So
Oh,
yeah,
I should probably. Actually, no. I think it's all good. I think I got a noise gate. I have my AC on because it's really hot up here. I don't.
I can't hear it.
Good. I'm just.
Yes,
I'm just making sure. Just making sure. I'm gonna clean that up in my. But today we have something. It's kind of like an exodus that I've been looking into for like a month now, if not.
Define Exodus.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I don't know if you notice, if any of you guys watch Work 2 Games. Probably Last Order. I think you watch Work 2 Games.
yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah. So I've been talking to them, and especially Chris, who's been like really into the fact that Brian's really into it too, but there are a lot of WoW content creators and WoW like players, Mythic and all, just checking out Final Fantasy 14. Some of them are actually crossing over. Some of them are doing the trial and checking out the game. And it's like another exodus of WoW players are moving over to 14, or at least looking at it and trying it out.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting another wave of WoW refugees, and it's been kind of like a trickling effect. Seems Blizzard, every time they open their mouth, they just lose another like good 1,000 of players,
Well, I mean, yeah.
and they're either like moving over to like 14, or they're moving over to like some other games that doesn't involve Activision Blizzard. So seeing that, I thought, man, we're just gonna get another wave of them, and we're gonna just see another exodus. So I might as well take a look, because I myself decided to head into WoW and check out why the game was so fun. So I've been playing World of Warcraft, at least.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know you anymore.
Have
You're
you ever
dead
played?
to me? You're dead to me.
So interesting enough, I've played like over this is probably somewhere around 15 years ago, maybe. I did play World of Warcraft a long time ago, but I didn't have any interest in it. I don't know what made me feel bored of it, but as soon as I stopped playing World of Warcraft, I almost immediately went to another MMO. God damn it. I went to another MMO called Final Fantasy XI, which, funny enough, is older than WoW. And somehow I found more joy and more fun in that game than I did something that actually turned the tides for MMOs forever, for all ages, in World of Warcraft. It's like an interesting story on my part, because 11 is built differently. It's more realistic in terms of its movement, slower, but I think it has a more interesting story. Definitely better presentation and cinematics. They got better with the camera along the way with their expansions. And because I was a Final Fantasy nerd back in the
Stan,
day, like I was a
Stan,
yeah, I was a big fan. I
Stan.
was no, a fan. I'll call out Final Fantasy when I really need to,
No,
but
you don't.
I do. I don't play 13. It man,
It's only the best one.
it's yeah the best one to be sent in the garbage.
Wow.
Uh,
All right, there. Make that
Yeah,
chocobo chick cry
I'm
now.
calling it out. I'm calling the
You
whole
make the
number out.
chocobo chick cry.
Listen,
What did that
I'm
do to you?
calling it out. I'm calling that number out. That 13th number can go in the garbage. Anyway, because of everything that's happened throughout my life, being a Final Fantasy nerd, I've gone through a plethora, an army of MMOs from when I was playing 11 for a long time. Then they said, "Hey, look, Final Fantasy 14's a thing." Went into that, it was pretty bad, the 1.0 version. And then we had a period where there was no MMO. So I started, like, I guess I became an MMO gigolo and decided to check out all the MMOs that existed. This included, like, I went back to RuneScape, like the game that I that I played before Final Fantasy or WoW, and I didn't realize it was really an MMO. I just thought it was just a browser game. EverQuest, Guild Wars, Maple Story, you name it, I probably played it. Rift, Fly for Fun, Mabinogi, Aeon, all of those things. Star Wars, the Old Republic, Star Wars Galaxies. Like I said, 14 came out, and I never went back. Well, maybe to Guild Wars 2. And now we have World of Warcraft just really just bleeding players. And
Yeah, there's a
I wanted to know what made it fun. So I decided to go back into WoW for the third time because I played a little bit more like a year ago and stopped because there was another patch for 14. So,
Sounds
so
accurate.
this is your third return to WoW.
technically third and longest played. Yeah, I've played
So
several hours already.
so you literally went from fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Good job there, Sandy.
I just don't learn. It's very hard for me. But I wanted to know what made WoW so special, so I decided to play retail WoW, which has gone through
God.
plenty of like
Retail WoW.
yeah, like it has gone through plenty of upgrades and graphical overhauls, but it's didn't really like change much in terms of combat and in terms of how it
Ooh.
doesn't really how it doesn't I mean it teaches the player some things, so it's more beginner friendly than like a classic WoW.
Don't let the long-term players hear you say they didn't really change anything, because that was the whole reason why they left. They changed too much. It's a brain dead game now, apparently.
When I mean it didn't change too much, I mean back when I remember when I was playing as a kid, and in terms of combat and in terms of just like the general play for me, walking around and stuff, it didn't change. Like how like most MMOs WASD is how to move, and it's basically a point and click and use abilities kind of thing. So as long as I had that, I was fine. So that's where it didn't change. But I will admit a lot of what World of Warcraft is today in terms of retail is a hell of a lot better than when I started playing that when I was like a kid. And
When
Oh yeah.
I can admit that.
no, wait, when did you stop?
Uh, when did I stop? I only played it for
Yeah.
like I only tried to play it for like a month.
Oh yeah, there we go. Like vanilla WoW was like, come on, that's setting the bar low. But like there were so many expansions that made it much better, but then kind of regressed it with the latest
Like they're like aren't they like so what's the point in the classic?
So
Like WoW classic.
actually, no, I wanted to know that too. because I figured it was because people are nostalgic for the old, tried and true vanilla WoW back when it was like new and didn't have that many upgrades or many changes to it. And I think people wanted that, and I don't know. I honestly don't know because I think classic WoW is supposed to fill in that that need or that want to have the old World of Warcraft back as like a lot of people, I guess, because I know there was a server that was shut down by Blizzard, and it was basically all vanilla WoW. It never went beyond to like Burning Crusade or to Wrath. I think I'm not too sure if that server ever did anything like that, but it was only classic WoW. And Blizzard steps in, just like, nah, sorry, bro, you're gonna have to shut that down. And I'm guessing it's because they want more people to play, obviously, more retail WoW. But they went up on stage and they said, "We know that you want classic WoW, but you think you do, but you don't," which became a meme in itself because um it's kind of like pie in the face of what is his name, J. Allen Brack or something. I think his name is J. Allen Brack, who's the president of Blizzard right now. But
Yes, that's right.
kind of like a pie in his face because eventually he came out. They came out with classic WoW, and people flooded to the game, and they're just like, "Oh, well, do I look stupid?" Because it seems like everybody wanted classic WoW. Maybe we shouldn't have. Well, of course they're gonna shut down the server, but they're probably thinking maybe we should have done this a long time ago. And I guess retail. I'm going to say probably the end game. There's like a lot of problems with WoW. There's like a lot of problems the game in terms of maybe like mechanics, or maybe there's like certain things like I don't know how to get a weapon or the abilities. I know a lot of there's some people complaining about um like a certain ability that you get temporarily. I guess you can only get that in Shadowlands or something like that, like equipable abilities or something like that. And they were complaining about all this. There's just like a whole entire list of things that, ooh,
Are they worth complaining about?
I don't know. That's the point of me going into World of Warcraft to find out. Because so far I'm having a good time. I'm leveling. I started out as a Draenei Paladin, and I've been having just a solid time. I will say that the graphics is a bit jarring. Someone once told me that they prefer the graphics in World of Warcraft over that of Final Fantasy XIV, and I can see why. Whereas WoW has been like a staple cartoony kind of like thing, colorful with like I guess you could say like more of a old style kind of visual, whereas 14 is more realistic. It's kind of grayed out a bit. I think if they had like a better tone in their shading, 14 would look a lot better. But
Yeah.
it's kind of washed out when you look at 14, and their shading is kind of bleak, but at the same time visually they have they have like a better standard. They have especially with like all their shiny and bright blinding abilities, they are a step above, if not several steps above, in my opinion, to what WoW looks like right now. But I think it comes down to preference for a lot of people. They like the colorful yet kind of I wouldn't say archaic, but colorful and kind of traditional
Okay.
looking kind of 3D MMO. Would you rather have like a flashy yet bleached out kind of like shadowy realistic MMO?
Like 14 literally just needs to get rid of that awful ambient filter that they have. Like that's the only thing that's graying out the whole game. If they get rid of that, it's like golden. It's like okay. But
I have
they
to
don't.
agree. I may have checked out, and I'm not advocating for this, so don't do it. but I've checked out some pictures of people using a certain third party program, of which I'm not going to say,
Mm.
and it does look better because they literally add something and take something out, and it looks a lot better, and it's so easy for them to implement. I'm guessing maybe that's not their first priority over there in Team Yoshida. Over there, I don't think it's their first priority. They're thinking about more or less how the story, the gameplay is going to be, and more content rather than just how visually it looks. So I
Yep.
mean, I'm fine with it. I my eyes are adjusted to 14's grade blotched
Superior
out.
graphics.
Yeah, it's quote unquote superior graphics. Yeah,
Hey man, 4K 14.
4K doesn't even look that different. I can tell you right now.
No, it doesn't.
I've cranked it up to 4K, and it's not that different. I mean, there are some things that a lot of people would complain to me about. Like there's some WoW people who come into my streams when I'm on YouTube on all things, and I think they're coming from Dalaran's Dalaran the Rogue. You don't know who Dalaran the Rogue is? He's a WoW player, WoW streamer on YouTube, and I follow him. His twin is Thamriel. So
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I know. So me and Thamriel and Dalaran are all like buds, and I've told um Dal that hey, I'm starting to play WoW. He's like damn, if I wasn't playing Classic right now, or if I wasn't like busy in Endgame right now. Like he's a tryhard, real true WoW fanatic. He loves
Uh,
the game, and he played 14. But a lot of things kind of confused him while he was playing 14. But he does say that 14 is a fun game, but it's not for everybody. And I know that to be
Disagree.
true. Yeah, I know that to be true. Stop being a skeptic. Stop being elitist. All right. Not everybody likes the same thing you do. Okay, sir.
I wonder why people would dislike 14.
There are a lot of reasons actually. One
I,
of
I, I want one major reason.
it's
Because there's
stupid.
no gacha mechanic.
There's no gotcha
Yeah, you
mechanics.
know
Well, we'll
gacha
we'll talk
mechanics.
about that some other time. um, this is kind of the weirdest one, but 14 feels slower to a lot of WoW vets.
Oh yeah.
There's the GCD, which is the
Global cooldown.
there you go. I don't know why I man, I need my orange juice. I'm gonna go and get that. The global cooldown for 14 is 2 point like average 2.5, 2.6, whereas
2.5. 2.5 is the longest.
0.5, yeah, 2.5, and yeah, we're just gonna round it. But the global cooldown for WoW is 1.5. So you have a faster feeling game that's also snappier. So when you press an ability in WoW, it happens, right? There's no charge up unless it's an actual spell, and even the spells immediately start charging. And that I can understand. They feel as though that WoW is faster and snappier and has like instant response whenever you press a button, whereas 14 sometimes there's like a charge up on your moves. Sometimes abilities go off or don't go off, but you think it's kind of confusing to say, but 14 the abilities go off, but it doesn't feel as fast, and it feels
It's
slow in the very beginning. But
yeah,
then,
there's latency between the two, the server and client side.
right? So there's a certain kind of like they kind of fool you. They do the animation, then the hit goes off, then the animation ends.
Mhm.
14. For a while, the hit the animation comes after the hit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
okay.
That
I
was
see what you mean.
I think that was a 1.0 design and limitation now, is because they were relying on server ticks to get the information.
right.
I think that's what it is.
Right. And WoW vets, they easily see that. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is really slow. But the funny thing is that when many of these WoW vets make it to endgame in 14, and they start seeing the full rotation with the OGCDs and pretty much all of the jobs in 14, they're like, oh, well, why didn't they have this earlier in game? I'm like, well, you got to
Yep.
work your way up to that. And it's
The,
like,
that's
it's
a valid thing. It's just that when you're leveling up, you don't get to play with too many OGCDs until like quite a bit later on.
right. Like, I
So
would say you really start getting into your job at like level 50. And then from 50 to 60, it starts like feeling better. Once
yeah,
you get from 60 to 70, I would say you have your job there, you just need a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
and Skeptic, I know you've been away from 14 for quite a while. You've been playing Opera Omnia and The Life of Father. So I can completely understand why you've been away. Definitely understand. If you ever do come back, I think you're still at like level 60 or something.
Right.
You have 2 expansions to go.
And all right, good times. A whole 2 expansions.
Right. You have a whole 2 expansions. I don't know if Panic is going to come back. I want him to come back because I showed him what black mages can do now, and he was just like, I want. And I'm like, oh, well, you should come back. And he was like, yeah, but I'm working forever for the rest of my life, you know? Uh,
Working forever.
pretty much.
But some 14 on the side.
You can do that. That's the thing about 14 and how Yoshida wants his game to be pushed out. He says you could always come back to the game, it will be here. You want to take a break, go play other games, and then come back, you know, when you feel the need to. And that's what I like about Team Yoshida and how they're taking things. I'm not gonna say Square Enix because Square Enix be do some trifling things sometimes. So I can't really say it's Square Enix really up in the helm on all this. It has to be Yoshida and his decision makings. But this is what I like about the community itself is that um the person who's directing and producing the game is a gamer and understands how people can get burnt out and how people might feel when it comes to an MMO in general. Like there's so many interesting things while I was playing World of Warcraft. I found out that, and I think this is already common knowledge, but Team Yoshida actually played World of Warcraft for like a good amount of months before making 2.0.
Yep.
And he was like, everybody playing World of Warcraft. And I don't know if this is true, but he also went to BlizzCon.
It's true.
To BlizzCons, I should say. He went to BlizzCons. And
Good times.
I don't know if he was being a fan or he's being a spy. Because
Could have been both.
yeah, it could have been both. He went in there, picked some things up. He went into the game. They all picked some things up. They realized what I guess you could say a modern day MMO was supposed to be in terms of World of Warcraft. They took that and they implemented it in 14. You could say it was actually kind of like a bit of a neutral grade, maybe not a downgrade, but they had to change it because 1.0, its graphics was so intense, people were lagging everywhere. And I think you know this, Skeptic, but a potted plant had more like polygons and particle points than like a player character. So whenever
Yep.
you went into like Gridania, you were chugging.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, you are. Like the amount of graphical detail.
They were just like, we need more polygons for this plant.
Yeah, my God, that game was so damn clunky. Do you remember? Have you tried playing it on a controller?
Which
Do you
one?
know what it was
1.0?
like? 1.0?
I never played it in controller.
Oh, okay, so I could quickly tell you. So you know, like how they had the skill bar at the bottom, right? With just
Yeah.
like literally eight or something,
Yeah.
8 or some slots. Yeah, you literally had to use the directional pad on your controller
Yeah.
to like highlight the skill you want, and then you have to press the A button to confirm and use it.
Wow.
It was brutal. It was
That
so
sounds
bad.
horrible.
It
It was
was
so bad.
it was it was supposed to because it was supposed to be like 11 2.0, right? It was supposed to be Final Fantasy
Yeah,
11 2.0. It was supposed to be the spiritual successor.
yeah.
And we were all looking forward to something like that, but what we all realized is that that's not what we really wanted. we
Yeah, it
were
was really bad.
we were just like, yeah, we got 11 2.0, and then we started playing. It's like, oh wait, this is probably the reason why they wanted to end 11. Which, by the way, 11 is still going, and there are still people playing it.
Wait, what do you
And
mean still going?
it's so 11 servers have not been shut down, but they stopped making content for 11. However, when people started flocking to 11 for some unknown reason, um, and because of I think another part of it is that the West looked at some players still playing 11. One of them was Ninja, who said
Right.
his one of his favorite games is Final Fantasy 11, if not is his favorite. He's been playing that, chilling out on his stream for like the past few weeks, just playing 11. He says he's never felt better because he's actually playing a game he really loves. And because of that, I guess there's been like a flock of people playing 11 now. And they said that if by 2022 people are still playing the game, we're going to make more content for it.
They
Wow.
actually updated it in May for their 19th anniversary.
Yeah,
There's new content for it.
What?
really.
There's actual new content for it. Like just for their 19th anniversary, but yeah, they
Oh
updated
yeah,
the game.
kind of like
Yeah.
an event.
Like actual new content.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's different because like they penultimately said like this is the last chapter of 11, like some years ago, and you fought basically the cloud of darkness.
Death. Oh, death.
I'd
Uh,
follow her to the ends of the earth, man.
and that was the last boss, the cloud of darkness of all things. But eventually they said thank you for playing our game. It's been a good, I don't know how many years. I think at that time it was like 15 years or something. It was a celebration saying thank you. Kind of like when you get all the endings in Nier. They all the voice actors come together and say thank you for playing the game. It was kind of like that, and I thought it was kind of sweet. That was the end, and people would probably move on to 14, which a lot of people did, but people kept flocking back, and for reasons, some things
Just
that
reasons.
yeah, there's some things in 14 that they were just like, I'll take a break from it. So what did they do? They go back to the game that basically preceded, and it was just like, hey, let's play this older game. For me, I went ahead and decided to play. Wow, thanks, Bike. You're great.
I know. Apartment 814 and traffic. Gotta include the traffic.
Skeptic is live on the scene. I don't know what scene he's live at, but
No, I can hear it too because little like his neighbor, but I don't like it when people go out. Like people do this all the time in cities. They have like loud as hell. Like motorcycles probably can't be helped. Those things are loud, but some people will honestly have their car be loud as hell for
Yep.
all the reasons, I guess. And I guess it's their engine that they
Yep.
put in. And
it's the exhaust pipe. They modified the exhaust pipe.
just so
That's
that
what
it
they
could
put.
be loud
Yeah.
for everyone to
Yeah.
hear.
Just so everyone can hear it.
Yeah, just so everyone can hear that. And does that make me admire them? No, makes me wanna take like a wrecking ball to their car.
Yeah, I remember seeing this, like, I forget what brand it was, but it was a car like a 90s model car with like a what do you call this? A very stereotypically Asian what do you call that? The thing in the back? That
A spoiler.
a spoiler. There we go.
There you go.
And yeah, like it's just the loudest, like obnoxious, like small car ever. It's like, what the hell are you trying to show off exactly?
This is my
Ooh, look
car.
at me.
It's my pride and joy.
Exactly.
Like those people that like blasted music and like the whole car is shaking. It's like but you shouldn't do that. You're going to wreck your vehicle.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They don't care. They just want to be loud. My question is why?
They want senpai to notice them.
I guess. But for me, it's like that time, and Skeptic already he was there because I was going insane. This woman had a birthday, and she got a DJ, and he played all night. And I'm like, there's no one in the streets. There's no one talking. There's no one partying. Why are you blasting this music? What are you doing? You didn't even block off the street for a block party. Then I would have been like, all right, I guess I have to deal with it because there were people who were actually enjoying themselves, but no one was out there, and the dude was still blasting his music. I was going insane.
But just some random DJ on the street, like they were just hired to
It's not
play
random.
music.
It's not
Random
random.
DJ.
It's a woman across the street on the block.
Yeah.
And it was her birthday, and she hired a DJ,
But there was nobody there.
but there was nobody there. Like everybody was
So,
already inside, trying to get some
basically-
goddamn sleep.
Free block party music blasting into the late night. Good times. Good times.
I wanted to chuck a brick at that studio set. It was there for me to just throw at. I really wanted to chuck a brick at it. I really did. Or at least
Just what,
walk
make
out and
friends?
just turn it off.
You wanted to make friends, man.
Yeah, you try having a DJ blast music till midnight. and nobody, utterly nobody was out there trying to have any.
Poor lady.
Welcome to the hood.
Back to the matter at hand. I don't know if you guys have either played. Well, we all played 14, but like WoW. I don't know if anyone here besides me has been playing WoW or has played WoW. But
Not enough to say that I have.
I played Vanilla to Burning Crusade, and the Burning Crusade.
so you've played a good chunk.
Uh-huh.
At the very
And I also I co-led a guild. too,
Oh.
so we have
Oh, I just co-led a guild. It's like so
It
you
wasn't
did
a
more than just
successful
play.
guild. It was more like a friends guild, right? So we were like co-leaders, like a few of us.
Just like, I dabble in WoW, I'm just a guild leader.
then
Yeah.
do you know what's happening in WoW right now for all these WoW vets to switch over?
Nope.
Despair.
All I hear is bad things. All I hear is bad things. So I don't know why you wanted to go into WoW.
Well, here's the thing. So far, from my first impressions of WoW, everything seems to be okay. Seems to be good. I'm questing, but a lot of people have been warning me, especially Dow, saying that you're going to get a giant wall of text for like everything you do.
Right.
There is not much in
sounds-
terms of like presentation, so there isn't like cinematics for any important parts. I got like a letter from Alduin, so I guess I have to find this rift, which they're not pointing me to. I literally have to find this rift somewhere, and I'm like, okay, I'll get there someday. So I've been just questing around. I guess I'm like doing vanilla WoW, and I have no idea what the point, the story, or the main point of vanilla WoW is. I'm just like some Draenei that happened to crash land on an island, and I was trying to help the survivors. I investigated an island, and now I'm off the island. I guess I'm just doing paladin things, helping out the Alliance. I'm really not too sure what's going on, but I can tell you that I am getting a lot of experience and rewards for everything I do. And I have accumulated easily 200 gold. And I know that's not a lot.
I'm about to say, is that a lot? I have no clue.
No.
Nothing.
No, it's not a lot at all. The 200 gold is like the equivalent of having 200,000 gil. 200,000 gil is nothing.
Yeah, that's absolutely nothing.
So, just to give you like an imagery.
Okay.
People have 99,999,999 gil in their retainers, and sometimes people will have the max amount of like retainers, which is like I think is 10, and they will keep stockpiling gil. So there are literal billionaires in 14.
Gillionaires.
Billionaires.
Billionaires. There is an achievement that is called Gillionaire.
That's funny.
But yeah, we literally have billionaires in 14, especially in the server that I'm in, where it's just a whole bunch of crafters. So people are rich as hell in that server.
Yeah, but here's what I don't get. Why is it that your server, specializing in crafting, is one of the most expensive places in freaking Crystal? That makes no sense.
Yeah, you sell high to gain high, I guess.
That's just stupid economics right there.
You don't really get a lot of money if you're selling pretty low, right? So
Well, no, people go to other places in Crystal.
I know.
Like even Goblin like sells cheaper.
I know, which
That's
is the
where
reason
my
why I always go off to another server and
Yeah,
buy all of my
exactly.
stuff. I'm like, what is the cheapest place? I actually go on like there's like websites that keep track of the market board and other servers. I'm like, I need this.
Yeah.
Is this cheaper over here? And it'd be like several thousand gills cheaper, and I'd be like, all right, I'm going over to Mateus or something and get
Yeah.
whatever I need there.
Oh, speaking of WoW, did you look into the you know how they can sell time credits in their auction houses for like gold and stuff? Did you look into
No.
that?
No, I have not. I've not gotten to that
Okay.
point. I've already spent real life money on a subscription, so
You're dead to me.
oh,
I
I'm
mean, I
sorry.
have 4 Final Fantasy 14 accounts running at the same time for some unknown reason, but you're dead to me.
Oh,
Wasting that money, you're dead to me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I've betrayed your trust like this.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have started playing my main game's rival game. All I wanted to know was why people were moving over.
No, the main rival now is the Life of Pi mon.
Wait, who? What? Huh? Oh, Genshin Impact.
Life of Paimon, huh?
Yeah, that's the main rival now.
Genshin Impact is kind of MMO. It is
You
an
know what?
MMO, right?
You know,
It's not.
it's
Oh,
not.
it's not.
No.
It's a co-op.
Okay, you know what? I got something to say. I know I had a lot to say last time we were on this subject of practices, right?
Yeah.
I was watching this video called Black Desert, like some of Black Desert's biggest whales. This
Mhm.
guy casually spent $140,000 in Black Desert Online in a
Huh?
matter of a year.
Oof.
That's
Okay,
a lot.
and
I just
okay,
it just
so
makes me upset.
okay, so I want you all to also understand, like this person spent like what, like a maybe 12,000, 15, I think it was like $10,000 to $12,000 a month in the game, and the reason why he did that is because it was for his entertainment. And I guess he has like a very high paying job, right? So that he can spend all that money. It's not like he's broke as hell or anything like that, but he can spend that money.
He can
And
spend that money on better things like helping
Right?
himself
Like
or
shit like that just
people.
makes me
but
upset for like other reasons.
who are we to tell a person who has just oodles of cash just sitting around? Who are we to tell that guy to spend it on anything else? He chose to
Morally
spend it
upstanding
on a video
civilians.
game.
You know, this is actually a great topic.
He
Yeah, we
chose to
should-
spend it on a video game. That was
I
his
think-
choice.
I think people who do that who spend that amount are like silly. Like they're spending a couple hundred. Hell, there's even spending a couple thousand. Like I wouldn't do that, but like, you know, that's less. But like when you go over 10 grand, like something's wrong with you.
Well, he was justifying it in every which way he could say possible. Like, one,
course.
he's not.
That's
It's
it.
not like he's desperate for cash. He has plenty, so he spent it on something that would entertain him. And okay, Plenty of people spent like millions of dollars or something to entertain them.
Okay,
That's fine.
if I spend 100 grand on adult content, do I have a problem?
Okay. Did it
No,
entertain you though?
He's,
just
It entertained
no,
you though, because you could also spend 100
that's
grand
not
on a new car and drive that car around everywhere.
okay, but that's a different thing.
okay.
Like,
That's
But
entirely different. Like you're
yeah,
arguing a utility slash
yeah.
no. A car is not, for me at the
No,
very
no, no, no,
least. It's
no,
not really a utility. That is an
no, no. But that
optional
no
thing.
luxury,
no you're
has utility.
right. And like what you meant to say was I spent 100 grand on multiple cars.
Yeah,
Well,
that's different.
no. I mean, at this point in time, for me personally, a car is kind of optional for me because you can still just get around with local vehicles anywhere. You can get anywhere with just local vehicles, or Uber, or a taxi, or a train, a plane, a boat. And all you have to do is spend some money just to get to your next destination, right? So that's why I'm saying having a car is optional.
No, like okay, yeah, you have alternatives. I'm just saying that was a bad example because the car, specifically a vehicle,
Yeah,
like gives more to you than any like virtual or digital
yeah,
content.
yeah.
That
Exactly.
was a bad
Okay,
example. A
all
good
right,
example, like I said, was buying several cars. Like you buy like 10 or 12 cars with like 100 grand.
okay.
That's the
Yeah,
equivalent of these people spending $100,000.
pretty
Well,
much.
okay, right.
Because there's no
It's like
benefit or
excess.
like,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
So if you spent $100,000 on, well, okay, $100,000 will probably get you two cars,
Well, it
two,
depends on the car.
two really good cars,
Two
right?
two very expensive cars, yes.
If you,
Because keep in mind, like a Tesla is like somewhere between 20 and 30.
yeah, but who with a lot of money is gonna buy a Tesla?
I would.
I I see one every day in Philadelphia.
No, I mean with a lot of money and they could buy anything.
uh, it just oh my god, I really
they
need
they probably would think about the style and how it looks more over than if it's saving the planet with emissions.
But like
no
seriously, though,
no
140 grand.
it's like that's so it's like it's so excessive. Like I'm not saying that you can't spend money on what you like, but like there has to like you're telling me that are you telling me that like there's no like uh safe like socially or like mentally, I don't know the correct terminology, but like there's no like safe limit on that. It's like I said, like if I spend 140 grand on adult content, do I have a problem? This is a yes or no question.
I would say yes.
I
And
would
here's
probably
why.
say
Here's
yes
why.
too.
Here's
Why?
why. It's not just because like, oh, this is what I like. It's more like, is that it to your life? Like you kind of have to
Yeah, I
self-reflect
agree.
at that point. It's like, is that it to your life? Is
Get
this all
closer to
that's
the mic, last
there is?
order.
Oh, I'm really close to the mic. But
Take
that's what I'm saying. Is like, is that
absorb the mic.
all there is? Is that all there is to your life? Basically, it's just this. You're
Yeah,
willing to spend your life's like earnings for this.
I don't. Well, all right. So the guy who spent the $140,000, right? He was justifying it by saying, it's his money. Get to do whatever he wants with it. Um, he also said that it's for his entertainment, and like what else is he doing with the money? He says he has like responsibilities because evidently he's from an Asian family, and I guess you could say he went through
Oh,
the typical higher upbringing Asian lifestyle. Have a
Yeah,
good
there it is.
job, take care of the parents when you get older.
There it
Which,
is.
yeah, which like he doesn't need to because his parents are well off. So
Yeah.
obviously his parents had already gone through the same thing. They have probably good money, good house. He says he lives alone. He has a girlfriend, but he has also a lot of money and a lot of time when he's not working. So what does he do? He plays games. And what does he do to gain an advantage in these games? He spends money. And he has like a reservoir of money that he's not either using for anything else. And I guess he does have a saving because he still has his house, he still has a girlfriend, he
Well,
still
yeah,
lives, right?
Yeah.
like
I mean, he has the means.
he's a textbook or classic wow classic
Whale.
Whale.
Classic
classic
WoW.
whale.
Classic WoW.
He's a classic whale. Like the like regular whales like can sustain this lifestyle. So like we can't say, oh, you know, like, so someone who spends 100 grand and goes into credit card debt is not a whale.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
they
not talking
definitely
right.
have issues.
Like this guy is a tried and true whale. So when you
Yeah.
say whale, we are referring to this. Granted, he's like in the top percentile. I don't know. I know $1,000 whales. I've never heard of $100,000 whale. Like
I
that's
know, me
top
neither.
tier whale. Like that
So
man is a whale lord.
let me tell you more. Let me tell you
Yeah, he's
more
a
about
whale
this
lord,
guy.
exactly.
So I did say he's from an Asian descent, right?
Right.
And I heard take care of parents. I'm like, why aren't you saving your money for that? Like for something that might actually happen. You
Well,
know?
I mean, like if you make enough, like I would like arguably like if I make $1 million a year, I could do that.
Right. So I don't know how much he makes in like total, but he has a really good paying job. So obviously he's getting a lot of money. And
Probably doing some stocks too.
probably. So he's doing very well for himself. So what else is he doing for a person who is basically living at the top of society and isn't doing much else but getting money for knows why? Why not
He
spend it
can be
on
giving
something
back
that
to society.
he himself finds entertainment in? And that's how he's justifying it. Like if you think of it morally, right? You can see how much of like a you could tell that he has like some sort of gambling addiction or some sort of like problem.
Right.
But to him,
See?
it's not a problem if it's not hurting anybody.
That is simply not true. That does not
But
define a problem.
who is he hurting other than like if it's himself, nobody else?
The people that who could have been benefiting
No,
from
like just because he's not physically causing a problem for another person does not mean that he does not have
yeah,
a gambling addiction or something or something.
I mean, he can
That
have a
doesn't make it not a
gambling
problem.
he can have a
he is
gambling addiction, but who is he hurting?
he has a sustainable problem. That's the thing. It's a
Like
problem. It's sustainable, but it's still a problem.
But you know, it's it's one of those problems that like you can continue to do. Like it's not going to, well, debatable. It depends. Like I don't know how often he plays. Like for
he
all I know,
plays
he could.
he plays every day.
Okay,
That's
but
his
like for
thing.
how long? Like
He
I could play every day, but like if I only do it for
he
like two
doesn't
hours.
he only plays like maybe if it's 2 hours, maybe it's a couple hours, but that's not enough when you're playing something like Black Desert online where you have people who know life the game.
All
So
right.
basically, he's trying to stay competitive, right?
Like yeah, so
Like he could be a casual and just be like, okay, I'm gonna log in and just drop this 5 stacks real quick. You
but
know,
that's but that's the thing. BDO has one of the worst practices
They
because
do.
when you spend money, you gain a high advantage.
oh,
Yep.
it's a pay to win.
Right.
Yeah, they're not even hiding it
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, they're not hiding it. And
Uh,
people that have like just all the money in the world will become like the better player in no time. It doesn't even involve skill at all. As long as you have money, you're always going to be the better player. And this also ties into like how things are going on in Korea and how they're making their MMOs and their games where it's just a crap ton of pay to win. In their society, and this is just like from me doing just the bit of research. It's not even a bit. I spent hours researching this because I couldn't believe it when I heard about this. In Korea, when you have like a whole lot of money, why not be like at the top of everything, right? Why not be the best at the video game that you want to be in if you have lots of money? If you have a lot of money, you win the game. Doesn't matter which game it is. That's how a lot of their games are designed. So like in this case and in this instance, Korean games are pretty atrocious, pretty bad. So like newer Korean games that are coming out, no matter how much we may love South Korea, like I love you guys over there. I love South Korea, but your games have pretty bad practices. And if money is all it takes for you to be the best player in the world, then you're not making a game.
Right.
You're I don't know, you're making a hierarchy, and I don't like it. I don't even know what to call it. Like the words don't even convey how like bad I feel for that, and how I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, there's no way any person with actual skill can win if somebody just throws money at it. And that's what's trickling down into like other game industries, like the pay to win system. Uh, and this is the reason why we had like that argument last time where I talked about how I can see it in games like Opera Omnia and Genshin Impact. I can see the practice and I can't unsee it because
But
I
there's a
know
big
it's there.
difference.
And logically, if the game is fun, sure it can be fun, but the practice is still in there. I can't unsee it. I'm aware of it, and
No,
I'm always going to be aware.
the issue last time was that you were using the term predatory, sir.
I was using
It's
it.
not.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah, I was using it in the literal terms, like
The
the
dictionary
hyper
term.
literal terms,
Yeah.
and everybody was
Like,
trying to like decode what I mean by saying predatory, and I'm
because
like,
like it's a like that practice, like it's a predatory practice, but like Genshin Impact and Opera Omnia themselves like are not preying on their player base.
but
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. Like,
I
I can
can't,
see it. Like, I mean,
I can't. But that's the problem. I can't say that they aren't because the system is in there.
oh yeah, I mean, like, you definitely get an advantage. But like, let's say for example, Genshin Impact. Advantage of what?
But okay,
What
It's
like
literally
resource?
a
What
book.
like money? Like resources? Like okay,
Yeah.
like the advantage is I paid for more resources, so now when content comes up, or when people come up, I can just like I guess I
It's
can.
here's the
pay for convenience for both games, basically.
here's the problem though. As
Yeah.
much of a good games that they are, it's
Mm.
still in there. So I can't say that they're not preying on anybody. I can't say that the practice is not in there.
Uh,
I'm taking the morality out of it. I'm seeing it in the logical stance. It's in there.
but then like how can I like what is words what if it's you can see those same things in games that you pay for, so it's like what, like if I make a game and charge $40 for it, and it's perfectly fine, and I give you plenty of content and plenty of resources, but I also put in an option to purchase more resources,
Mm-hmm.
is that is that a predatory practice?
Yes,
Why?
because you have the option in there. You know it's in there, and the option of paying for an advantage and paying for resources is a sort of form of preying
So,
upon your customer.
so
So let me give you
you're
let
gonna have
me
to explain that to me because I've yet to play at least like a I can't think of
here's the
a
thing.
big name game.
Here's the
I've yet
thing.
to play a game where I couldn't buy something.
Here's the thing. A game company or a game can prey on their customers, but it's up to the customer and it's their option to take the bait. So you are being preyed on, but you're choosing not to fall for the bait. And that can be a large sum of players and gamers who are playing that game. For instance, the game that you're talking about in my head was Crash Team Racing.
No, no, no.
I'm
You
just
did
putting it
Crash
up.
Team.
I'm just putting like an
No,
I'm just
let's
putting.
go with a good one like God of War. I can
Well,
spend money on God of War.
do you spend well, yeah, you spent money on that,
No,
$40.
no, 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 not the game itself. I buy the game and like there is a store to purchase something. I can purchase shit.
Do I know a God of War that does that? Or is this just an example? Because
No,
I was giving
they do
you an
that.
actual real life game that does that.
Did the
Yes,
last one actually do
me
that
too.
one?
Yeah, Crash Team Racing. It actually does that. The new
Like
one.
you can buy shit in the new Spider-Man games too.
Yeah, that one you can.
Like,
I'm trying
okay,
to I'm trying to
okay.
get you to explain to me the difference
So
between buying shit in a
what you're
regular game and buying shit
explaining,
in a gacha game.
dude, what you're explaining is, not. I wouldn't say that's like a predatory thing. I'd say that's like an optional like store thing. Like you have the option to pay for like a new Spider-Man costume, a new DLC, but the problem is that you only have to pay for that once. And if anything, the price would generally be fair. Like you only have to spend $2 once to get this costume and it's yours forever. Whereas the practice of what I'm talking about is a repeatable paying thing. You can infinitely pay for these resources. There is no
Mog
cap.
Station. Mog Station.
That's also a one-time pay.
No, it's not.
How many
Look at the
times?
clothing skins. If you have multiple characters, you have to buy multiple times.
Okay, and then you stop after you have it for all your characters, right?
Yeah, but that's multiple buy-ins.
That's still multiple buyings.
No,
But
it's
it
still buying
ends.
on you.
So
It's still
so
buying on
so
you.
so Sync is saying if it has a cap, it's fine.
So
Oh.
no. So when a game has like if you ever have to pay for a game, because generally these games are free, right? And they have to make their revenue some way, somehow, right? But they justify it by it being free and people paying for it to support the game, right? When you pay for a game and you still have in-game purchases that has you spending money like infinitely and there is no cap to it, that's pretty much like the most disgusting one so far. Like FIFA, you pay for that
Oh my
game for
god.
60
Oh,
bucks.
The absolute worst example you could possibly pick.
Well, yeah, but
FIFA.
that's like the general.
No,
That's the
I got
general
something.
example. FIFA,
Think,
like
think you're forgetting something from the Mog Station. Guess what you can buy infinitely?
Fantasia.
Glamour.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
it is.
you can buy Fantasia. You can buy a lot of Fantasia, but like, are you really going?
Predatory.
Are you really like? Do they really
I
pressure
suck.
you to like
I
tell
suck
you?
the card.
Because if I'm looking at that correctly, in an in-game store in a shop that is online,
Yeah.
when you want to change your character's look, are you
Yep.
going to buy 20 Fantasia?
I suck.
That's
I
his.
mean,
I mean, that's what he did. That's what he does, and
But I'm just saying,
that's like
it's
that's like going
There's-
into a store and every day you buy an apple or a bag of apples and you keep coming
But-
back for that apples and you keep buying
That's-
those apples because you know they're going to
but-
that's how
restock
I'm
it.
highlighting that there's something to
But
prey on. For
it's
everybody.
That's
the,
not
it's the
a
same.
prey.
It's the
It is.
same level
No.
of impracticality, though.
That's not a prey because they're not advertising you or telling you, hey, you have the option
they
to
are.
get. When are they telling you to go and get
When you go
Fantasia?
to the Mog Station, you see that.
But you're
Yeah, that's
going to the
advertising.
Mog Station, bro. You're
Yeah.
not going into the game.
But no, open up your launcher. How many things advertise you to go to the Mog Station?
Well,
Lots.
that's your launcher. I'm saying the
I'm
game,
just
bro.
saying.
What? Wait, do you just mean in general or just the game itself? Because
Like, when
I get plenty of emails from 14 telling me to buy this, and that, and the third.
Yeah, I would say that's like, the practice of a business. They'll try to advertise as much as possible, right?
Don't
And that's
turn a
them going
blind
into
eye,
the email, which, by the way, I mean, everybody can totally ignore, right?
I'm just saying. Don't
Is that a
turn
sort of
blind
form
eye.
of preying?
Sir.
Yes. Yes, that is a sort of form of preying. But I'm talking about in the game. You guys are separating it now. You guys are not sticking to the game. You guys are going off into a Mog
wait,
Station,
where's
into
the
an
Mog
online
Station at?
store.
Where is the Mog Station?
The Mog Station is on a website. It's not in the game.
But that's because they couldn't put it in the game.
You're
So-
now
Yes,
trying to
spaghetti
justify
code.
it not being in the game.
So where can I buy resources in 14 in
You
game?
can't.
You can't at all.
There is no resource getting from buying anything.
Okay.
I mean, you could
Actually,
buy
I
it from
actually,
other
I, re-
players.
I really can't use 14 because it's an MMO. We really can't count MMOs.
Yeah,
We
But
truly
that's
can't.
my thing, though,
but
is that
Black Desert
a lot
Online
of
is an
practices,
MMO.
like a lot of
What
practices
the?
with
Oh,
MMOs, right?
Jesus.
Is like you
Jesus
buying into
Christ.
the game. Yeah, that was loud.
That made it sound like some boat was next to you. I was like, what?
Yeah, Skeptic is live on a pier right now.
No, my phone was on the table, not even close to the microphone, but the vibrations were on some like earthquake types.
At least you know when you get an emergency alert, you'll be like, whoop.
This emergency ship is about to roll out.
No, no, I need anima. No, I want to find that line because like you have one sig. Everyone has a line. I'm still trying to figure out your line.
My line
There
for
has
what?
to your line between predatory practice and I'm just trying to get the sale, bro. It's in there, and I can't use the correct words to get you to express it, but somebody can. Maybe anima
So
can.
I don't know if I can explain this the right way. So 14 advertised the fan fest. And what they were like throwing everywhere, including in the browser, the startup browser, is something called the Lunar Whale. And they said if you want to support FanFest, buy the Lunar Whale, which was like $35 when you went into the Mog store, right? To the Mog station. That is,
Can't you buy mounts?
yeah, you can buy mounts, but nobody tells you or tries to pressure you to buy mounts. And
You
sometimes
just
people,
said the first thing you saw. And the
okay,
first thing you see, like, if you want to support FanFest, buy the whale. If that's
I
not
was going
pressuring it,
I was going to say that is a form of like a type of business kind of prey. In definition,
yeah,
logical definition, that is a form of
yeah,
prey. But at the same time, when you're thinking, you know what, I really did want to go to FanFest, or this mount does look kind of cool, right? You're going to one time pay for this mount, and that's
yeah,
it. That's all you did was that one
yeah.
time pay.
I
Now,
agree with you. The mounts are amazing.
right.
Mounts like in
And
the store are amazing. What they do
a
with it.
lot of times when I bring out like my horse mount in 14, people are just like, "Where'd you get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's from the online store." I'm like, "I never knew that." And I'm like, "Yeah, they don't really advertise it or say anything about it." There's like a bunch of things in the Mog station or the Mog store that they don't talk about that they have. Like they don't. Well, I guess that'll come back in an
No,
event one day.
you're ignoring the launcher.
The launcher. Okay, when you throw up that launcher, what are you
Yeah.
doing? You're pressing play.
Well, I mean that
Pay
depends
to
on you.
pay to
I like to check how
Well,
much
the
one man must be.
launcher is there for like maybe the most tidbit of news saying, "Hey, look, there's a maintenance happening," and
Yeah.
press the play button. That's what I'm looking at.
No.
I'm looking at the big green button that says play, not also
No,
Mog Station.
especially if you haven't played in a while. I look at that launcher and see what the hell's going on. Like last
Yeah,
time I played, it's like, oh, okay, what did I miss?
and that's fine. They have their advertisement on the launcher as well, and that's perfectly fine. You know what? Fantasy Star Online does that too. They put a lot of crap in their launcher, right? And they're a free game. And I would say, even though I love Fantasy Star Online too, they also have a preying kind of tactic in there. I'm saying this right now. They have it, but I love the game.
Yep.
And I can't unsee it. I'm not trying to say that tactic is always a bad thing. I think I said this last time.
No, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
you said that last time. Like you're not saying that it's inherently bad, but I just want to get to the point where we can have two examples of. No, actually, no. I want
Like,
to know if you because last time you said that you do. So I'm going to ask you again for reconfirmation. Can I make a sale off you without preying on you?
yes.
The fact that you believe that and still say what you say is hella weird to me.
If you can sell me something like how FanFest sold me on the Lunar Whale, you could probably sell me something if it's like very interesting to me. But if you come back and say you want to buy it again, you want to buy it again, you want to buy it again,
No, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something new every single time.
like you give me something new, right? But if I start figuring out that it's bullshit, like then I'm just gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just done. Like
So would think the
I'm not
line
saying
is
that I haven't fallen for
perception
that
thing.
though. I'm not saying that I haven't fallen for that. I've fallen for stuff like that before, where it's just like, why am I even paying for this shit? And
what if I bought all the mounts every time a mount came out?
then you would essentially be I mean, then you
You'd ha-
essentially just
you'd have
have all
a
the
problem.
mounts. You
How
chose to buy the mounts. Like, a
Oh,
whale is different from a person who's just like an avid fan, just wants to,
oh
start
yeah,
collecting
like
something. Like, a whale will continuously and probably infinitely buy the same dumb resource over and over again, or everything that they want or need in order to give themselves an advantage, which does involve them paying for something of the same thing in the thousands. Whereas a person like who's like an avid fan of something or just wants to support our company or something like that, which I do admit is out there, um, they would buy a mount, they would buy maybe a pet, they would buy like little small things that they only have to pay for once, and they're like, I did my small little thing for the company because I love it, right? And advertising from the company is a sort of kind of prey. I'm not going to disavow that. I'm not going to say that that isn't the word in a logical form predatory, but it's not a bad thing. That's not
I'm,
that's not bad. It's not egregious. You guys are taking the form
I'm
of
here.
predatory as bad. That's what I'm trying to
I'm here.
separate here.
I'm here for the semantics.
I'm trying to separate the word of predatory of
Yeah,
being bad
from the nature. Yeah, I
from the
know.
nature,
This
because
is
gaming has turned it into a bad thing. They've turned it
yeah.
into, like, when you hear predatory, the act I guess it's an adjective at this point. But when you hear predatory, you're going to hear, oh, this is some disgusting bad thing. Like, it's that company is bullshit. Fuck you, EA. And then it's like, you see an advertisement on maybe a game you really really love, like maybe God of War, saying like, pay for $25 once, you get this really cool sword, and you do, and you're like, oh, that's a cool company. Thank you guys. Thanks, Santa Monaco. You guys are great. Even though you sold me onto something and made me buy something. But fuck you, EA. Shame on you for being predatory. Shame on you. And that's what society has made it out to be. And I'm, in terms of business, like I said, it's not a bad thing to have that kind of practice because they need to make money. But in what form, how they do it, what they're trying to sell you, that's what makes the difference. I'm not going to pay $140,000 for the same resources to get me in an advantage in an MMO. And Black Desert has done that, and this whale is just the person that I was describing tried to justify it in more of like the most gambler way I've ever heard in my life. But he's justifying it in a means of like, it's not hurting anybody.
But the thing is, it's a psychological thing. He knows he spent a lot, so
He's hurting the
he has to
economy
justify it.
with that nonsense.
How? Well, okay.
He
How
has
is
to
he
justify
hurting the
it to
economy?
himself.
If you're not joking.
Shit, no, that's just my personal opinion.
Like, everything I've told you about this guy, right? Where he is spending money, has a lot of money, has a lot of resources, he has more money to spare, right? And I ask, who is he hurting?
No one.
Right.
Well, it depends, right?
It's
Like,
mainly
Well,
himself.
who is
but
he
like
hurting?
mainly
no, like,
himself, but
How is he
it's
hurting
just
himself? He has plenty of money.
where is he based? Like, is he based in the same country as the game?
I don't know where he's based. They never really told us where he lives or what country he lives in. But from
See,
like
there
the
we go. We
sound,
could,
from the sound of it, he sounds like he speaks English, so he sounds like he comes from America or Canada or Europe.
and he's playing Black Desert. See, there we go. See, siphoning all that money from North America all the way to Korea.
Listen, he earned that money, right? And I'm not
Doesn't
trying to.
matter.
I'm giving you like a
no.
devil's
I
advocate, and
guess
I'm not trying to justify it, but like there's like really no like perfect argument to tell him to stop.
I mean, I could make the whole corporation argument. Like he's like heavily assisting freaking late stage capitalist corporations. Therefore he's doing a bad thing. I can totally
Okay.
make that argument.
That is an argument, yeah, because he's justifying the existence of being
Because
able to pay to play.
right,
And
and that further encourages these companies to continue to do such nonsense.
right. And because of his actions, people like regular free to players, which I've heard this before, free to players are synonymous to the whales. Without the free to players, there isn't anyone to crush with your money, which is why the whales are there. The whales are there to crush the free to players.
That is
So
the
that
saddest thing I've ever heard.
yeah, I know it is how it is, but that's how it's explained why the free to players are there and why they are needed. They're needed because they have to find they're like hunting down whales, or they're going to reveal the whales who will crush the free to players and basically justify the means of having pay to play in their games. They're gaining a lot of money from these free to play or from these whales, and the free to players are basically sacrificial lambs. But at the same time,
Sacrifices.
it's not like the company isn't laying out bait for the free to players, giving them all types of like small little bits of advantages. Maybe you can get like a free open box, or you get free resources every other day, just a small little something to keep them playing. And the whales come in and they just have like a giant loot crate box that costs $100,000. They just sit there and crush people slowly. So I'm like, but I'm the one on top.
So am I the only one here right now interested in making a game? Let's go make a game, babe.
You're interested? Oh, look, it's hey, what's up, Panic? What's up?
Panic.
Says thank you. He appreciates you for filling in the spot for two people.
Much love to you too, Panic.
Making a game? I mean, when you think about making a game, I mean, I would definitely love to love to make a
All
game.
we have
and
to do is make a Candy Crush clone, and we can make billions. Come on, man! I'm not in this for the game. I'm in this for the money. Let's do it.
Well, then I'm gonna have to bow out, sir. I'm sorry. You can.
Well then,
You can be rich. I'm good.
Skeptic and Panic, do you guys wanna upgrade your living standards?
Sounds fun to me.
Okay, let's do
See,
it.
and now there's the problem right there. I know it's a joke. I know it's a joke, but as a person who has played, games for his life, and all this paying for more stuff in games when you already paid for the game shenanigans in free to play games, especially, it's kind of sad and kind of worrying for me to see what happens in the future for a lot of games.
Remember back in the day when like you like bought a game and it was just done.
Right?
Like God Eater 3.
Right? Doesn't even matter what game. Fucking Monster Hunter. Like I didn't mind DLC because it was more of the game, and you only had to pay
Here's
for
a
it
fun
once.
thing. This is why I'm like plugging God Eater 3, because I want a God Eater 4 and I want it now. All the updates for God Eater 3 free. There's absolutely nothing to buy in that game. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Everything is free. Everything. Free. That's
Free.
That's why I
Free,
want my
free,
God Eater
free.
4 right now.
Free. Hate that commercial. It's not really free.
No, it's not.
They sit there and are like, it's free. Free. Shut up! It's not free. Shut up. Telling me it's
Yeah, because like
free.
Monster Hunter still has like paid DLC, right? God Eater, nothing. It's literally just free updates.
All right. Sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt this.
WoW
So
versus
we
Poison.
have.
You need to have a sound or a thing, something to indicate breaking news, whatever the hell this is.
I should.
Segment.
I should have like a slide or some sort of sound in the background.
Yes.
Today in game news. If we're gonna roll off of that, new games are coming out this month. Some games that already just came out that is actually picking up traction, like Knockout City. That's actually picking up traction. It's kind of like an underdog on Twitch right now, getting a lot of views lately. I'm interested in seeing what that game's all about. You guys want to join me in Knockout City?
How much does it? How much does it cost?
$20.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
PS4.
Let me check.
It's on Steam.
It's on Steam.
Crossplay.
Oh wait,
I
it's
don't
on
know.
PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox. It's on everything.
Oh.
Crossplay.
Now I
Now
don't
we
know
need
if it's
to know.
crossplay. It's crossplay.
Because Sony
Wait,
Sad.
wait,
has a
wait,
crossplay.
wait. Does it have crossplay? Thanks for playing the crossplay beta for Knockout City.
Okay, so it doesn't
Wait,
have crossplay
So
yet.
yes, Knockout City does have crossplay.
But not fully.
Not today, but it will 100%
And
have
cross
crossplay.
progression on PC and all recent consoles.
Okay, when that comes out, I'll get it.
It looks like it actually. Wait. See.
Let me take a look.
Does Knockout City have crossplay? So yes, Knockout City does have crossplay and cross progress on PC and all see from the above. No matter which platform your friends are on, you can play together and you can switch between them and pick up status. So yes, they have crossplay.
So I'm not seeing.
All right, I'll add it to the list because it does seem interesting. I know Anima will like it because he's down for the PvP. That's the only thing he wants to play is freaking PvP. Panic. I don't know if you know what it is, but it's like like a sandbox dodge ball.
It's basically battle dodgeball.
Battle dodgeball, yeah, freaking sandbox. Panic. Let me know if you would like it, because that's something that we can all play, and we need a new thing that we can all play because we only have the one. It's only ever been the one.
True.
Can we increase it? Can we increase it to 2, please?
It used to be Uncharted.
It used to be 2, and then it dropped back down to 1. Let's see. Can we make it 2 again?
My friends and I are gonna be picking up Warframe again. So I'm actually gonna be streaming that later today.
Ooh, send me your
I forgot.
I love
God.
Warframe.
Skeptic
Man.
loves Warframe.
I've honestly I've been playing Warframe on and off ever since it was initially released. I'm gonna say this right now, to those that have played Warframe, has Warframe not had the biggest glow up since its release? It's become a legitimate MMO.
Yeah.
That is actually decent quality and still free.
And it's still free.
Free.
So, other games that are coming out: Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, out on June 11th.
This is a continuation of the reset.
On PlayStation 5 only.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm upset, but at the same time, I understand because Sony needs incentive. You got to have the incentive. They want people to buy PS5s.
True.
You got to make that incentive.
They also might want to do something about the scalpers that are.
Yeah, I know. Like Microsoft beat them back to the restock for different reasons. I
think Microsoft has a plan, but I don't think Sony has. Haven't said anything on how they're going to combat this. Because if Ratchet and Clank comes out and it doesn't sell as much because not a lot of people have the game or the console, then the people who made the game are going to be the ones who lost out, which is Insomniac, because the sales metrics were low. because not a lot of people have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying here?
Yeah. Well, on to PlayStation 6, I guess.
Another game that seems to be interesting and is coming out also on June 11th is Garage. Game Builder's Garage for the Nintendo Switch.
What's that about, though?
Game Builder's Garage, which means Nintendo said, we had enough of your shit, stop complaining, if you want to make your own game, make one.
Okay.
that's that's basically what they're doing. They're training their player base to become game devs.
Good lord. How is it that Nintendo gets away with this all the time?
I
I
don't
mean, I
know,
love it.
but it's working. People are interested.
Oh my god.
Another game that's coming
Gaming
out,
Garage.
and I'm personally excited for, which is coming out on, I think, not really too sure if it's coming out on the 11th. Yeah, it's coming out on the 11th just as well. Guilty Gear Strive.
Ooh.
So I've been like privately exploring a whole bunch of fighting games behind y'all back. Sorry,
Not
I
surprised.
hate you.
but hey, I've been playing a whole bunch. Or I actually had a friend who showed me a little bit of Gear Strive, and I was like, oh man, is it really that good? He was like, yeah, it's all right. He has his own complaints about Guilty Gear Strive, but it does seem like there's a lot of fixes from like the last Guilty Gear in the game, and I'm a personal fan of Guilty Gear, so I'm gonna get it. I'm pick it up. Plus, it's made by System Works, right? It's
Yay.
genius fighting game devs.
Yeah, like they're like
What?
the best 2D fighting game company.
At this point,
They,
at this point,
they still don't hold a handle to
Tekken,
Koei Tecmo.
Koei.
No. Dead or
Koei
alive.
Tecmo Games.
Get your
Now,
get your pay to play to win $10,000.
well, now we're going into the 3D realm. CyberConnect. I think they're one of the best 3D fighters. They're the ones behind Naruto Ninja Storm.
Okay,
If
that's
you guys have seen it.
CyberConnect?
CyberConnect. I believe they're called
okay.
that.
So you like
the company,
you
right?
like Ninja Storm, right? I wasn't always into like games like
But like,
that.
you don't have to be, but just the mechanic behind it is like top tier 3D fighting.
Wait, but you're talking about the
Mm.
company CyberConnect, or there's a game called CyberConnect?
No, it's
See, the fact that
it's
he
company.
has to ask that.
company.
The company, right? Yeah. So that's the same company that dropped the ball on Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You're absolutely right. I don't know what that was about.
So that's where I'm gonna be like, that's gonna be one of those is probably your kind of taste thing. 'Cause I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be
What
one
are
of those people that says that CyberConnect is a
what are
bad
the
company, but I'm not
what
gonna
are
say
the
they're top
what are
tier.
the top three? What are the top? I'm not talking about the company. I'm just talking about their ability to make good fighting games. What are the
Fighting game.
top three most like not balanced as balanced mechanically sound 3D fighters?
Dead or alive.
Mechanically sound. Shut up. Shut the hell up.
What?
Shut
It's
the
really
hell up.
balanced.
Shut up. But seriously though, I mean DOA is an okay fighter, but I don't think it's balanced.
Sure it is.
But like
It's
Dead or Alive's unbalancedness is what makes it fucking fun. It's like so beyond unbalanced. It's like
But you're asking for like, a solid fighting game, right?
yeah, I know. Like Dead or Alive is like the exact opposite. But like people still
So
fuck with it because it's so much fun. But that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
so if I were to say I would think it's Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and
Since when is Mortal Kombat 3D fighter?
it's a fighter.
I would
Uh,
call it 3D fighter.
Yeah, like games like Tekken and what do you call this?
But you're
Well,
talking
Soul
about
Calibur is only like
okay, so you're talking
2.5.
about like arena all around 3D kind of fighting,
It
right?
don't. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
arena, but it has to be 3D fighting.
yeah.
Like Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm. I wouldn't call it a arena. Well, it kind of is. It's a huge arena.
No, it's
So
an
I
arena.
guess
That's an arena. Because
okay.
you're all over the place with that. You can go all 360 directions. But even you're talking about a 3D fighter, and that's fine. Tekken is one because you can go in like different directions. Um, there's not a lot of them. Soul
It's
Calibur,
not. Soul
Just say
Calibur is not
Namco.
really balanced.
all of Namco. Because Namco was the ones who were also behind Pokken, and that was a solid 3D fighter. In fact, it had 3D and 2D.
You
Oh,
know
yeah,
what
it
I
did.
missed? The Virtual Fighter series.
I do kind of miss it actually. Virtua
Actually,
Fighter was
isn't there a
good.
new one that came out?
5, 6.
That was like a long time ago for 5.
No.
Six.
A new Virtual Fighter has.
Is there? Let me check.
Is it Virtual Fighter 5 and they just let me see. Fighter 5 came out in 2006. So what's this thing about?
Ultimate
Vir-
Showdown.
Is there like a new Virtual Fighter?
I think so. I think it's just like a revamp of 5. It looks like it just came out recently. If you're right.
Yeah, it does. So they basically took Virtual Fighter 5 and updated.
Yeah.
Even that probably has like better combat in it. I would say there isn't a lot on in terms of like fighters or like I
Like
would say
can
arena
I can
fighters.
name plenty of 3D fighting games, but like not many
Okay.
good ones.
Oh, Jay's in your hand.
Junior.
JJ's in your. Well, I said JJ. Ooh.
Oh well, time to Google them.
Good
I
job
wouldn't
there.
because when you put in 3D fighters, like one of the first things that come up is Tekken, but then the second
There's a
thing is
reason for
Mortal
that.
Kombat. So
I don't.
what you mean like when you mean arena fighters or when you mean 3D fighters, you probably mean arena fighters. That's not a big
New
list.
argument. Is Mortal Kombat a 3D fighter?
Technically, well, let me see. Well, I'm
A
gonna look up
side
3D
scrolling
fighter.
3D.
I mean,
But
it's a
just
side.
Is Smash Brothers a 3D fighter?
I would technically say those are 2D fighters, but
Yeah.
they're in a
Yeah.
3D realm. But when you
Yes,
but
that's fine.
under 3D fighting games, it means that it adds a third dimension, and under that is like all the dead or alives, right?
Yeah. Ow.
Power Stone,
Yeah,
Arms,
Oh,
real
Power
3D
Stone,
fighters.
Soul Calibur, Tekken, uh, Final Fight. I forgot Final Fight was 3. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I
So,
gotta say the whole thing. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, there's
so
actually
basically just Namco and CyberConnect 3.
there's a whole bunch of them. So because Naruto Shippuden
That make
Ultimate,
fantastic ones.
yeah, like there's a whole bunch of them. But I would say like Tekken and Soul Calibur are like the top 2,
So Namco and
and
CyberConnect.
then there's Dead or Alive.
Dead or
That's
Alive,
Team
Dead or
Ninja.
Alive.
Like
Yeah, that's Team
fucking
Ninja.
Power Stone. Oh my god, Power Stone.
Can we get that Power Stone 3?
I'd love that.
But yeah, there's a bunch of games that would be competitive. That of like Ultimate Ninja Storm is made by Namco.
Technically.
They make everything.
All the good 3D fighters.
Well, yeah,
the
maybe,
good
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yes.
But then Team Ninja made Dead or Alive.
Yeah, they're the best. By default.
They just know how to make good 3D fighting games. Nothing wrong with that.
I can name plenty of crap ones.
Of course you can.
Oh, here we go.
We can jump whatever the hell it's called. Crap.
Oh yeah, Shonen Jump thing.
Yeah, crap.
Yeah, that thing is crap.
Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Wait, I was wondering if there was like a time where someone in our core group was defending it, and I don't think I remember that.
Well, I
Like
mean, I
it's
bought it, and it is total
it
shit. It was
it, it,
totally
it is. It is like it has the audacity to like look good, but like play like crap. It's just like, oh my god. Like
yeah.
why?
Look good, you say?
It did look
For
okay.
for what it was trying to do
Mhm.
in verse, it looks decent. To put all those characters from all those different animes into one game, it looks acceptable in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
remember when Blackbeard just floated away?
Doesn't he always do that?
Like imagine freaking Aizen and Blackbeard in the same game and like they look okay under the same graphics.
That's
That's what I
cool.
mean.
That's cool, but when one of the characters, like fat ass Blackbeard, just stands there, doesn't do any kind of animation, just floats up like something was wrong with his character.
And
And
that's what I mean about the mechanics.
like legit, I was cracking up when I saw that, and I immediately was just like I quit. It was a miracle just for me to get that far. It was funny because the game was nominated to be part of freaking Evo.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
And
goodness.
everybody was asking, why is it here? Everybody's like, where's Under Night in Birth? Like, where did that go?
I know that's a
I'd like that Capcom versus SNK 3.
Oh, I
Capcom
want that.
Oh my gosh. I still think that one of my favorite fighting games would be Street Fighter Third Strike. They come out with like another Street Fighter with that kind of like graphics and somewhat the mechanics, I would be happy.
Well, you don't like the hyper muscularity of the 4 and 5?
I'm not a true fan of the 3D Street Fighters. They're great. They're great in its own way, but I'm always going to be a fan of like the cartoon, look models. I still
Yeah.
think Third Strike
Rough
looks
Fighter.
amazing, and the music in Third Strike was. Oh
You know what I love? The series that I love the most is King of Fighters.
oh,
Hey.
I love that series. I suck at it, but I love it.
love. I like it too. I like it too. I think I don't know if they're coming out with a new.
They came out with one a few years ago, but yeah, I don't know about any new ones slated for release.
Oh man,
It'll be
remember?
an change of pace.
Hey, do you,
A first person fighting
for some
Ooh,
fighting that would mess a lot of people up, honestly.
VR first person fighting game.
game.
Or first person fighting.
VR. Man, you want to talk about a workout? If we can get that down to like like science, that would be busted because like people that actually like know like real life Muay Thai and like they like play the game, they're going to cheat because they're going to actually know how to fight. It's like
There,
it's not really
there
fair.
was a little like attachment. I forget which console it was back then, but like it basically is supposed to read your movements, but like it's like this weird cage like thing that you're supposed to stay inside. I forget which console that was for, and that was supposed to be for fighting, and it never went anywhere. But there was a weird. I forget which console that was for though.
So I'm surprised no one's done VR boxing. Like what the hell? Why is that not a thing?
Is there none
I
still?
think there is a VR.
I thought there was.
Yeah, I thought there was
Uh,
already.
I've seen zero advertisement,
VR is
Oh,
not a big thing, right? Like it's not
and
like
yet
ultra
and
big.
yet I see tons of commercials for Beat Saber.
oh yeah,
Isn't
Beat
that
Saber
great?
is it's a monster of its own.
If I remember PlayStation All Stars.
Hey, Super
Oh,
Smash
Smash
Brothers
Clone.
PlayStation.
So funny
Smash
enough,
3.
my video had like a few people looking at it, and I found out that there were some people who like added it to. It was a cat combo video. They were just like, cat combo video, proficient combo. And it was my video, and I was like, wait, what? Why is that a proficient video? Proficient combo? I'm just messing around. I was labbing. I was labbing to see if cat had like a proficient combo, and I found a couple, and that's about it. But people were just like, yeah, 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 that's a good one, right? We can play 14 anymore. Oh my gosh, you're being called out.
That's my good buddy Gems.
You're being called out. You don't even play 14 no more.
I
Get
finished
out.
the story. I finished the story. That's all I wanted to do.
That's all you wanted to do. Just went in, finished the story, and just went back to waifus online. Get it.
Wait, am I finished? No, because they came out with 5.55, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't finished that story yet.
So, how about those Ashians?
What, all of us? Everything in 14?
They still an issue, really?
Everything in 14 is an Ashian. Spoilers.
Let me just tell you, there are still Asians in there, but they're
Listen, man, they need to resurrect La Breha.
why?
That's my guy.
Oh,
I like
I
that.
want
Oh
that,
no
actually.
You're gonna just not care about La Brea.
I like the
No, but
guy.
You're gonna not care
I
about him when you meet Emmett
I
Sulk.
personally want La Habrea. I
He's
want La Habrea back.
he needs like okay. Was La Brea really a good villain though?
If you like
I
read up
mean,
on his lore, like
he
you know
manipulated
this.
the freaking the crap out of the Garly.
So I need you to look up and or get into knowing who Emmett Selk is.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
but
like a
La
higher up in the
Habrea was a
order.
bigger character in their before world.
I mean, La Brea was in charge of doing things in the source, and Emmett
Yeah.
Sulk had other planets that he just personally destroyed, and he was working on the first, and he was about to succeed, and La Brea did not succeed at all.
Oh no, but you know what I mean. Like it, right? Like in their own respected. I don't want to say too much, but like La Habrea was like a big deal,
He was.
and we kind of got conned out of one for the story.
He he
It's like
he, he was. He was a big deal, and then we beat him, and then Emmett Silk showed up, and he was better. Like there really wasn't any kind of like complications unless you really read up on the backstory of La Habreha that was in the game and put forth
Yeah.
in front of the player. Whereas Emmett Sulk was complicated, uh interesting. I would say he was like a villain. He was like an antagonist that you actually had a sort of like sympathy for. You had empathy for him, and you actually tried to understand him itself. Like
He's
how
the Arden of this game.
he was. He was a piece of just genius in terms of
Yes.
an antagonist, and
Yeah.
we got to give it to our writer who just like this is how we're gonna flesh him out. She's amazing.
By far, I think he's my favorite antagonist of all of Final Fantasy.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a
I
big
would
that's
say
a big play.
that's
That's
a
a big play.
bold. I love it. I love it.
That is bold. That is bold.
I would say that.
Put that man in Opera Omnia.
I would love to see Emmett Silk in Opera Omnia.
Here's a question for you.
What did it do?
For Genshin Impact and Opera Omnia, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you for like for Skeptic, if you only had to pay $15 and you just paid for Opera Omnia and all the resources and everything like maybe doubled or even tripled or quadrupled in terms of their drops, and they had like more events and no time gaining for anything, would you still play Opera Omnia?
This is mandatory.
Like it instead of having
Is this a mandatory purchase?
like the $15?
Yes.
Yes. But
That is a great question. I am not sure because because of how the game works now, like you're really only truly paying for costumes and gems. So it's like
but that's the thing. You
it's
only have
like
you pay for the game once for the $15, but everything else in game you will earn, you will eventually get, and if there are challenges in there, I mean that'll be like the incentive
but
to get that costume or get
but like
like that plethora of
that's what
resources.
makes that question hard, because when the only thing to spend money on is in-game currency and like resources that you'll get at a certain rate anyway. It's for me anyway, it's hard to say yes to that because nothing is that's the only thing being gated is like it's like, do you want more resources or less resources? Like that's basically what you're asking.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying the mandatory $15 that you only have to pay once for the
Like,
rest of your life,
oh, for
and
the rest of my life.
yeah, like
In that case,
Say
yes,
yes.
because you're getting more for your like the quantitative value of that is way beyond $15. Like, are we including costumes?
yeah,
Because
you can just
costumes
you can just earn costumes.
costumes by themselves are like 20.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
my god, that's expensive.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yes, it is.
ridiculous. It's absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yes, and they
Where
get
did
away
this
with it
fix those?
But
because you can beat the game and 100% it without spending a penny
right,
and not bust your ass.
right. But uh, and this is what I'm saying. Pay $15 once. You get these costumes, you get like triple the amount of resources, and all you have to do is earn them.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's logically speaking, it's hard to say no to that. Like that again, that value, the value of what you're saying is like several hundreds of dollars,
Yeah.
if not well into 1,000.
Now, you created that value, right? And
Yes,
you found, well, you know the value. That is the value that they're making, or that's the value that they put on in Opera Omnia.
correct.
And if you want those costumes, those alternate costumes, which admittedly I have bought a few, because I wanted to see a upper nude Sephiroth. But
Hmm.
when
You're dead to me.
if that was like an option for me to just earn it, I will bust my ass in whatever hard ass event to get that costume instead of like paying the 20 to 35 fucking dollars for
Well,
a
now
costume
it's 35 because you'll get costumes and resources
and
in one
resources
package.
with it, but it's like
Yeah,
originally like $20.
right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. But the reason why I'm saying that is
And
that's
the
what the
community
game
agrees. The
that
community agrees on that. Like the costumes cost way too much. Like
right.
everyone agrees on that.
And I would say I would rather like work my ass to the bone to get something rather than just you know
Pay for it.
pay for it. And I was wondering if you would agree with that kind of thing. It seems like you would,
Um,
because it
see,
seems like it.
I'm
Because the one
that's hard
tantalizing
to.
thing about Opera Omnia is that it's free.
Yes,
And that is the big thing with all these free to play games, is that it's free.
but then I have to double back on that because it's like at the same time, I will eliminate a lot of challenge. So it's like, like if I can pay $15 to have every character basically maxed out, you're basically saying every character that comes out, I'll have every weapon for them, and I can have them maxed out for the cost of $15 for the entire life of the game.
I mean, you
That
have to
might
earn
make
it, obviously. You have to earn it.
that yeah, but like it's not. Mm,
Like,
see, Opera Omnia is a bad. I would imagine like Genshin Impact is a better example.
I don't
Like
think so.
it's so much.
I don't
I don't know
know.
how much free shit Genshin Impact gives you, but Opera Omnia gives you
So,
a lot of free
Genshin
shit.
Impact, I would arguably say, like, it has its advertisement, it has its practices, but you don't have to. Well, you do actually have to open up. You do have to open up like loot boxes in its way to earn characters and weapons.
Yep.
And one of the characters that I actually wanted to get in Genshin Impact was Klee and
He's coming back.
Diluc. I
Yeah.
wanted
Who
I
doesn't
wa-
want to loot?
so Diluc, big sword motherfucker with fire, right? I really wanted
Yes.
him. I got
He has
Jean
no nose.
instead. I was like, I'm gonna open this box that has a chance to get Diluc. Gene! What? Why?
You know, Gene is the better character right now, right?
the loot box RNG.
Yeah.
And if I could earn Diluc in some way without having to
Oh,
spend like resources to get it, and all I had to do was like pay, let's see, I would say $60 for Genshin Impact, right? Just one time $60 for Genshin Impact. And everything else you can earn in game as long as you work hard for it, I would do it. Because that's a goal. That'll keep me playing the game.
see, I'm gonna have to come up with a more specific scenario for Opera Omnia because Opera Omnia doesn't have that issue. Like it's not characters.
It's
Like dating characters
okay.
is not the problem.
See, characters is not the problem in Opera Omnia. It's just like the weapons and armor.
Not and like not even the armor. It's really just the weapon. It's really
It's
just
I
two
mean,
weapons.
it's
Just the
really
burst
just the
weapons.
weapons.
It's just the burst weapons and the LD weapons.
But the
That's it.
but that's the weapons. The weapons is still like part of it. And you know, when you're first starting out, it's also the armor because
No, they give you far too much. Like I will never agree.
no, because even the armor, like you have to, like good armor, you would
Yeah.
have to, you know, work your way to get into, or you could just pay to
Yeah, but
unlock
like
it.
the armor has no RNG to it. It's just the weapons.
Well, I mean, the resources in order to get some of this armor,
Correct. Yes.
like you would still have to
The
work hard to,
resources.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would still need to earn that. I would say, yeah, I will agree.
Yeah.
You'll earn those resources in game in order to get the armor. So I will agree to that. Sometimes the armor is a little too much and they fill up my slots and I need to get rid of them. But the weapons is the biggest thing. And the weapons, I would say, is the biggest factor. Not the characters, but the weapons. You can earn the characters. You can honestly get them all pretty easily.
Honestly, the characters basically just unlock for you. Like honestly,
Right.
like all of them.
So it's mostly the weapons that is like the biggest thing in there. And I would say if like, you know, you're still collecting resources, but it's like quadrupled or something or tripled. I would say tripled to be fair.
Yeah.
And you have a chance to, you know, earn them in some other form or fashion, like taking on a really hard event to earn these weapons. I would kind of rather have that and still pay. And I'm being very modest here. $15 just to play an app game.
Yeah, I know. Like that's kind of high. Like when you first said that, I was like, I don't know about 15, bro. Like this,
Like
that's a lot.
like you just gave the value of Opera Omnia like hundreds of
But
thousands of dollars.
not hundreds. I'll say thousands.
Right. You just said
Yeah.
like hundreds or thousands of dollars. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You
100
gave
100
you
or
gave
1,000.
it
Okay,
that
yeah,
value.
yeah.
And I
Yes.
said $15.
For the lifetime of the game, like that's
Right.
hard to argue against.
Like you pay for it once. And that's all you like you're having a conniption with that when it's something that has been in practice
It's
since like the
because
90s.
it's because it's purely understanding. It's purely because of the play style of the game. Like it's not. There's no level. Like
And they
it's not
and you're
like
but here's what the point that I'm making. You're contemplating over that. You're really thinking and racking your brain like, oh, dude, but the
because
value
you're
of the
only
game.
because you're only getting resources. Like that's it. Nothing
But
else.
but you wouldn't have to be going through that contemplation if the game didn't give you or didn't like fistball that kind of mechanic
I'm
to you when you're playing and while you're playing.
I'm going through that contemplation because the game gives you like 80 to 90% of the not mid at 90. I'll say 85% of this. Like you're asking for like for a 15% increase in efficiency, 10 to 15%, and it's like so minor because of how the game works.
Well,
Like
I said 3 to 4 times. So that's definitely more than 15%.
mm,
That's
I mean,
definitely more
I'm
than
not talking.
15%.
I'm talking about game efficiency. It would only increase by 10 to 15%. If anything, that's a nod to Square doing the game well because for me to play for me to have access to at least 85% of a gacha game and not spend any money on it, that's pretty fucking good last time I checked.
Yep.
Well, have you spent money on the game?
Yes, absolutely. I bought plenty of costumes.
So well, that's yeah, it's still kind of ridiculous. But I'm saying this though, even though you spent money on the costumes, figure that money that you spent on the costumes was just a one-time payment of the game.
Yeah, and then I had the costume forever.
Yeah, and like you have not just the costumes, all of them, being able to earn all of them, but like in-game resources would be the reason why you'll come back to the game because you wanted to earn
Like,
that or play the game because you know if you did that, you'll get something for it.
right. Like, okay. How about I give another example because I'm explaining it poorly. Like the equivalent of what you're saying is $15 for a Genshin Impact, and you'll have every character at max level out the gate.
I love
Well,
that.
no. Well, okay. If you spend $15 on Genshin Impact, I would say it would be hell of a lot easier to get characters and hell of a lot easier. Well, hell of a lot easier to get the characters, but still probably like the same kind of like maybe difficulty and
No,
other
no,
alternative
15
means to get the
$15,
weapons.
$15, and you'll have every character at max level upon release, and like at least at least at least one like hyper rare weapon when it comes out at the
No,
time.
because now, because no, because now, uh, that's like selling. That's like selling an advantage to the game. When what I'm talking about is just like the old practice of selling you the game,
Mhm.
and all you have to do is really go through the game to earn. Like even if there's
Earn
resources,
that
but
shit.
everything is heightened up. You earn what you try to get or what you try to keep. And characters will be easier to obtain, but there's like other means of obtaining them, and so does the weapons, not just getting them from a loot box.
Yeah. So basically, ways of
Like
unlocking it just through playing it.
I'm almost in a weird way, I'm almost wasting my $15 because I'm not gaining.
You're
It's like
I
kind of
here
contradictory.
For
It's
opera,
like
yeah.
it's a little contradictory because Opera Omni is a bad example because so much shit is not gated. Like not much is changing.
Yeah.
If you pay the $15 is the argument I'm making here. Like it's not the best example. It's like
I
Because
wouldn't
it's
it,
such
say
a good
it's
monetization.
I
almost
wouldn't
it's
say
almost
that.
pointless.
I wouldn't say
It's
that
almost
because
pointless. The only thing you're really getting out of that $15, truly, is the costumes.
I mean, if that's what it takes, but what I am trying to convey to you is
Yeah,
that what
you're
I'm tr-
trying to say if it was a normal game
because Opera
that you paid
Omnia
for.
gives you a lot, right? As long as you
Yes,
play the game. And
yes.
it gives advantage to those who pay for shortcuts. And you can't say it does. You
No,
cannot say.
no, it has no
Oh,
shortcuts. That's what your confusion is. Opera Omni does not have any shortcuts, sir. It doesn't. I could be a whale in Opera Omni, and I still have to do all the same fights, all the same ass busting.
well, I mean, in terms of like the hard mode, you would have like because you have more chances in the loot box, and all you have to do is just keep spending money to get those weapons that
Oh
will give
yes,
you the advantage in those hard fights.
because Opera Omnia has a guaranteed. I can get this if I spend enough gems.
Well,
100%.
no, I'm not saying that it has that. Like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to get this weapon, but for people like whales to spend money to get like 100,000 gems so that they have figuratively what is that like 200 chances for a 10 slot or 10 yeah 10 drop, they will eventually get everything they need,
Mhm.
and they will have the advantage when it comes to like hard fights because they will have the
They
weapons.
will have all the characters with all the weapons maxed out. Yes,
Right.
with very little effort.
Right. Now, in terms of the story, no, they're not going to have an advantage. There's no shortcut for that because they have to do the story. And honestly, I'm going through the story and I'm literally skipping every facet of a cutscene because I don't have time for that shit.
Oh, you're missing out.
I may be missing out, but they gave us the whole theater, so I could just go
Oh, I forgot
back.
about that.
Yeah, I
I
could
forgot
just
about
go
that.
back and see the cutscenes whenever I want.
I totally forgot all about that. Yeah,
Right.
cutscene
So I
theater.
will not argue that they give you a lot, but at the same time, it's like there's still you're like the costumes. That's honestly stupid. I don't want to spend $20 or
No,
even
I can't disagree.
35. And
I
you'll
can't
get,
disagree.
if you get all those costumes in there, right? Just for
Hmm.
$15. Just for the costumes, right? $15 you get all the costumes and you just have to earn it. Do you think that's really a bad thing? Because
Wait, 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 wait,
you
wait,
don't
wait.
have to pay for the costumes. If how Opera Omnia is mechanically, right? And what you're saying that it already gives you a lot except for the costumes, right? And perhaps
Right.
not the advantage of having a bunch of resources so that you can get the weapons all just willy-nilly and really fast so that you can do the hard content. But if the costumes is something that you can earn in game and all you have to do is spend $15.
Okay, then now the question changes to, do you want everyone's outfit? Like, how much do you care about that?
But like that's $15 though.
Right. But like
And
the monetary value is like, I can't really argue against it. It's like, oh well, I might as well. I'm getting more for my money if I just do that.
right.
The
And
question is, how high is my fuck level for the characters in the costume?
like if the game itself changed, right, and you couldn't play it for free no more and you just spent $15 and all they really did was add the costumes in for you to get, you
And
probably would feel some
and
type of
then,
way. You'd be
and it
like,
becomes pay to play. It's basically pay to play. Yes, because the game does not offer enough to become pay to
and
play.
herein lies the problem. It's a free to play game.
Yes,
And because
it
it's
is
free to play and they give you so much, the
correct.
incentive to still play is there while still
Yes,
having the practice within.
yes, and that
And
and that and that's the argument I was making earlier.
and
Like, I
that's
I
but that's
only
what
sing its praises because it is a free game, and for it to
and
be
that
free,
is my problem
right?
because games in the past that were really good and that I still play to this day, like I will still sit down and play Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles whenever I get the chance cuz sometimes I be feeling it. Sometimes I will sit down and play, old games. I will sit down and play new games, but I had to only pay for them once, and I get to have this really cool game. Whereas now companies are trying to find a way for you playing the same game for years to come,
Right.
and a lot of them will put in the free to play practice
Oh, okay.
so
So that's
that
what you're getting at here.
like
Okay.
like I'm imagining in my head, what if I only had to pay $30 for Opera Omnia and it was a full game?
I'm in $30 money. I'm gonna need it to like look like NT and like
All right, $10.
uh
$10.
shit. You might be pushing it with 10. I would say like 7.
With
Like for
30,
as
you were
much
getting
content
the
that it
vapors,
is
man.
in there. Like no, go ahead.
It's like because what?
No, I was just saying, with $30, you were giving Skeptic the vapors. I like
I'm
that.
like, and I can tell you this right now, and like, point blank. Oh nope, stop. I can tell you this right now. $30 to play Opera Omnia, they would not have a player base. They would not
Right.
have. A player base. It's
Right.
like, no way.
So
They're not offering anywhere near enough for that. For that,
right, okay.
just to
So
play,
I would
just
say
to play.
like
No,
$10, and I'm being
and
like
like that's
really
high
lenient.
end.
I'm
That's high
being
end.
lenient because you're
Yeah,
saying $7 or $5, but it has a lot of
like
content in it. It
it
has
it
a it
it
has
does.
it has like
It does.
what,
It has a
three
lot of
full
content.
stories in there. It has character stories in there as well.
But
Like
like maybe this might just be my opinion, but like there's like, see, like now once we start, the game changes when we have an upfront value. Now the game changes because now it goes from being the like top end of free to play to very low end of pay to play because like now we're talking initial money value, and like you got to come at that point. If you had to pay just to play Opera Omnia as it is right now, then I would have to agree with you. It would be predatory in the same vein as shit that EA has done and all this other stuff. Because now I'm paying you just to gain access. Now at that point, you need to come out the gate with some level of like basic um, uh
you're expecting more
like
from it, right?
like yeah, like exactly, yeah.
So
like it needs to be higher quality than what it is right now. I can tell you that.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine to have that expectation, especially if you're paying for a game
Right.
on a phone,
Right.
and that's
Like hell,
that's
you
that's
could have
like,
said you could say $30. You could say $15 and for everything,
but
like you were saying earlier, and I would still be like, hmm.
yeah, you think about it, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
for the quality of the game itself, but at the same time, people have already spent hundreds,
Oh, hundreds.
thousands
I
of
already told you.
dollars
I already told you.
on this game,
I spent at least 300. I know for a fact it's
and
300.
I don't know, because for me, I am always going to be reluctant, and I feel kind of like a way that I actually spent
Okay.
hundreds of dollars on this
You
game.
see, it upsets the practice. You're more against the practice and less the game. And no matter how high quality the gotcha game is, it will still fall under said practice for you. Therefore, you ultimately will not approve.
Right.
And
I
that is, I can't really argue against that. Like you're not really wrong when you say that. It does. It does. Like it does hinder
it's come to the
hinder the gaming community.
it's hindered like game development,
Right.
especially when it comes to companies,
Right.
because they
They're like,
will,
oh, we can just do this.
right. So they're going to make a free to play game. They will put a bunch of content in it,
Right.
but there will be always people out there that'll
Right.
fall into it, which is the reason why I say, like, and like I said, I've never said it was a bad thing, because preying on your customers just means that you're just trying to get money for your company. It's a practice, but it's come to a point where games, in certain places, and it's not all games, okay, I'm not saying it's all games, but it's become kind of like
It,
the thing.
it's
Like,
it's ultimately bad for the community. And after what I said earlier, I'd be a hypocrite if I disagreed because I was freaking drilling into
yeah,
Homeboy for
you
spending
tell him, Jay.
200K.
You tell him, Jay. Tell your dad.
I was I was I was drilling into the other guy for like spending freaking 150, and that's like not, it's just
Like,
not practical.
even if you did agree or disagree, the 140K guy was ridiculous.
A lot. Yeah.
That was dumb. Like, he was
At that rate,
justifying. He was
it only
justifying it.
takes 4 to 5 whales for a company to succeed, and that's how shit. We can
And
just find those 5 whales and make bank.
now, what I really wanted to hear when I said that he wasn't hurting anybody, I wanted to hear you guys say, but like, he's hurting like the environment, because free to play people are going to come in, they're going to have fun, right? But then you're going to have a whale just come in and roll over them,
He's,
and
he's
just
hurting the environment by empowering corporate madness.
right,
True.
Yes.
right.
And in the same vein of what you were just saying about gotcha games, I would have to agree. I can't disagree with that and like say what I said before, and I
Like,
would be a hypocrite.
just to reiterate, I like Opera Omnia and I like Genshin Impact. I just don't like
You
yeah.
don't approve of the practice.
Right.
And you know what? That's kind of a good thing. I guess the real question is, would the world be a better place without gotcha games? Oh,
That's a question and possibly an answer that I can't, really give or foresee, because
like
maybe sometime in the future,
arguably yes.
like,
Arguably yes.
well, that's arguably, but do we know if like the gotcha games will pull up a system, or probably pull up something positive because of the negativity that comes from it? People will see it and they'll be like, okay, we got to do something about this. We don't know if that's going to happen.
Like,
It's like,
no, like I personally think that it would be because because I can't speak fully for like Genshin Impact, but like Opera Omnia gets such high praise because of its low / non-existent predatoriness, not
Yeah.
because of its high quality.
right.
And when I say that out loud, that ultimately is not a good thing. Like I shouldn't be praising a game because it didn't try to steal from me.
and here's where I wanted to bring it to. That that is where I was just like,
So like,
we're
no,
making this a
no, like
normal thing.
you, right? But like you opened it up as basically saying Opera Omnia itself is predatory, and that's what got me and Panic to like to I can't think of the right word, but like that's what made us disagree
Right.
initially because Opera Omnia itself is fine, but in the grand scheme of gaming, because of what it's a part of, it's kind of sort of not. And I see now that's what you were saying, but like it took a while to get to that.
Because
like because like you were almost kind of saying like Opera Omnia and like Gotcha Impact are like crap. Like oh like they're bad. I'm like, well no,
I love how you called it
they're really
Gotcha
not.
Impact.
like and I remember I was like, I've never said it was bad. I just said it was predatory. And I all three of you, like Last Order included, was like, y'all had to put on the Phoenix Wright.
It's because you worded it in a way that was very antagonizing to you. You need to understand that. Like now, if you had said, if you had opened it with, well, gotcha games negatively impact the gaming community, it would have been told, it would have had an entirely different argument.
Yep.
Because at that point, well, yeah, I can't disagree. Like the hell, like they do negatively impact gaming. They do.
Really do.
But it was, the subject was like around. I guess I put the subject around Gotcha in terms of like Genshin Impact and Upper Omnia.
Like
Just to give like a solid, like, even I'm not letting them, I'm not letting them have any
you're not going to let
slack.
them slide because
Yeah.
those two games highly improve the free gaming ecosystem. But no is better than improvement.
Not having it at
Just
all.
not having it at all.
Exactly.
and like that's what you're saying. And you know what? You're kind of right. Like I love Upper Omnia and I like Genshin Impact, but like you're ultimately right. Like I personally think the road would be better because it would force gaming companies to put up or shut up.
And I kind of miss the days where just bought the game, you
Bought the game and
waited,
you had the game. You're right. And
right?
like if
Not
they,
either.
and you know like if they had,
Yeah, exactly.
well, when did DLC start? DLC started like PS3, Xbox 360, right?
Technically, DLC started with Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
It did, yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna say
sir, please.
the
Consistent
attachment thing.
consistent DLC started
Like,
with PS3 and Xbox 360.
I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was. I think it started around 360 and the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 2. I think
PlayStation 2
where
had DLC.
with DLC. I think I'm not sure when it really started, but
PS3,
was it PS3? I thought it was Xbox
bro.
360.
Okay, 2000 the fuck 5, whatever, or 2004.
Yeah,
No,
just yeah,
2005.
around that
Yeah,
time. So yeah, it was around that time where DLC was like a thing, and people still had like negative things to say about it because it was like, I'm spending
yeah.
extra money for
I'm spending
something of
extra money. Yeah,
So
part of the game that's already in it, and I was like, that's because
but
some people were doing DLC in a pretty bad way, like Ashura's Wrath, where
oh
they
my
give you
goodness.
the whole game but lock it out until a certain code was in there, and that was their
Right now
DLC.
that woof, don't even like, and that's like in the beginning of like, because like at first DLC was okay, so we gave you your sandwich, but we can also throw in some fries or some nuggets. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like Ashura's Wrath was like, okay, so you're missing all the contents on your burger, but it's still a burger with buns. Now, if you want this cheese and this lettuce and tomatoes, we're gonna need that coin.
Right.
That's when this whole thing started. Nowadays, it's okay. We gave you two buns, and you might have some lettuce. Maybe, maybe.
Now, games are just not being finished all the way.
Right. And like by the time you get your full sandwich, your fries, your nuggets, and your drink, you didn't spend about 200.
Well, that or you've waited a year because the game came out, it didn't come out fixed or entirely there, and along the way they're like, no, here's a DLC for you, it's free, but this one you're gonna have to pay for.
Free.
And here's
Free
some
DLC.
costume to support us, we're gonna need that money. Then a year and a half later, the game is finally full in content, and it's like, man, this has been a journey. Thanks for following us on that journey. It was just like,
Oh, okay. So the
Prime
first,
example is like 15.
sorry, the first console, actually, the first thing that had DLC was the Dreamcast.
oh,
So it's
oh,
damn
okay.
you, Sega.
So again, Sega ahead of its time, like way ahead of
We're
its
the worst.
time.
Yep, that was the first, and then second was Xbox, the original Xbox.
X-Bags.
Okay,
Yeah.
got that cleared up. Sega still being ahead. Universe.
Yeah.
They just always being ahead. I mean, good on them for being a step ahead, but dang man, it's a shame.
But who on them for this?
Poo on them. I mean, DLC basically evolved into like, the practices we have today. So it makes me sad. It makes me sad that this is the norm. This is normal. Like
Well, as long as we have whale lords and being whalmers, it's just like
like
you know.
if you gave me like an example, like I'll give you an example of DLC that I really would approve of. I've been playing Spider-Man, right? I love that game. It's really fun. Has so much content. I could play it again if I really wanted to. If the DLC was Miles Morales, I would pay the 40 or 50.
Man, I saw that coming a mile away. Same thing with like Capcom and Resident Evil 3. I was like, too soon, way too fast, way too fast. Y'all not gonna catch me slipping with that nonsense. If we can high quality DLC is what Miles Morales and Resident Evil 3 are.
Right. But I would pay for it because for the quality of what it is.
Of course, it is top tier DLC.
Right.
Top tier.
Right. I will definitely get that. And you know what? Here's the biggest thing. Smash Brothers. I always got every single Game Pass.
Okay. Now,
That's
now
it's right there.
now we're going into a slightly different territory now. See, fighting games are it's slightly different because you are literally missing characters if you do not spend this money.
I mean, the game will still function without those characters.
Yes, it absolutely will still function, but like there is whole, I don't know if you want to say advantage, but like for lack of the appropriate term, there's whole advantages because of the way fighting games work. I give them more of a pass because the characters are the game. It's like what the hell else are you going to do? You might as well pay for the characters.
I mean,
they are the damn game.
I mean, in a way you're right, but
this is true.
In a way you're right, but like there are people who are just like pure one character or a few characters and will always play those characters. And
thankfully they don't have to buy the pack passes.
Right, like they may face like the DLC characters online, and they're like, "Damn, I didn't get the character, but you know what? I'm having experience fighting the character, right?" These people can opt out not to get those characters and still stick with their one or two characters that they've gone with for the rest of their lives and not pay a single dime to the DLC. So that is an option, and it works because there are pro players that have been rumored to do that, and where they just like didn't pay for the DLC, and they were just like, "Nah, I'm just gonna stick with this character. It's great." But in order to get experience, I'm gonna play online or something like that. Play a friend who has that character, something like that. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Not saying that you're wrong, but there are people out there that will just be like, "Nope, not getting it."
Yeah, I agree. But like at least they're not hindered. Yeah, it's like you said, they can opt out of it, and it not affect how they play the game. So it's like I don't know if I should get upset at fighting games for that.
I mean,
simply because of what they are.
You said it was an exception because it's like
they are the game,
right? They are the game, and like even if you did get the character or didn't get the character, like the game is still going to be the game.
The game will still function to its fullest. Yes.
Right. So like, Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It's like I got the Game Pass because I'm like I'm fully invested in Smash Brothers, and I want
Like
to play these new
at this point,
DLCs.
at this point, was it Smash 5? This is Smash 5, isn't it?
It's like, sure,
At
yeah.
this at this point, Smash 5 is like what 120, 130.
It's what is it? Because it's $60. Then it's like what for the Game Passes? How much are the Game Passes?
I can't
20.
remember.
Yeah, so
Was it
someone put it
20?
in. Someone put it in chat. I know it's somewhere between 120 and 140 dollars.
Like Ultimate.
It's like, and like the thing is that if Nintendo had released, like, let's assume that Nintendo had all the characters already built and ready to go, and they said, okay, y'all can pay 60 or y'all can pay 140.
So like right now, the first Game Pass is now $25.
Mhm.
Second Game Pass is $30.
So 55.
Yeah.
And that's the third one right now, isn't it?
No, there's no third one.
Oh, so two, okay. So 60 plus 55.
Right. So
So like,
like
oh, okay. So
this,
it's under 120 then.
yeah, this is supposedly, and I believe them when they say this. This is the last Game Pass.
Okay.
So
Really?
yeah,
So you add in, so throw in
Oh,
some tax. So like 120. We'll just say 120.
yeah, because I mean the game is how old now? Like
2018,
no, Ultimate, just Ultimate.
2019, 18, 19.
Yeah, it's like a few years old now,
It's like 2 or 3.
and I think it's going to be the one of its kind to ever exist. It has
but
so many
so young
characters.
for a fighting.
Yeah, I don't think Sakurai is going to like when if there's a Smash 6, I don't think he's going to be like everyone is here. It's like
Right. This is the only time you'll ever have this many characters with so much fanfare and everything. This is probably going to be the only one, and like the
would
next Smash Brothers is going to seem like dull chips compared to this.
but
Gonna go
like
back to eat.
my last question, would Nintendo be right or wrong to charge 120 out the gate? But you would have everything up to right now.
120 out the gate. That's essentially adding another $60
Yes.
to the 60
Well,
that's
will,
already on.
will that be the only buying option, or is that like a second option?
Let's let's go with that's the only buying option right now.
Oh, then that would be wrong.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be that would,
Okay.
Yeah, if that was the second option,
But
then
you are literally spending the same amount of money.
no,
It's
it
just
depends.
it's just upfront instead
It
of over the
depends though.
course of
Like
3
there
years.
could be some people who don't want to buy the
like
season pass.
yeah, some people just want to get the
Okay.
game.
You know what? I'll give you that one. Fair enough. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll give it an option for like 60 or 120. Well, you
Yeah.
know what? Let's give you some incentive and say 100 if you buy it straight. But if you buy it over time, it's 120.
Well, then that's even better.
Would you?
But like you mean there's no $60?
No, like I'm saying
Oh,
like if along with the $60 option, let's say
okay.
that I give you incentive to buy the 120 by taking $20 off and only charging 100.
Yeah. Like
Doesn't really
even an option to buy like the 120 as a second option is fine, but that would be better. Like if you
that
discount it.
that option is very familiar to a lot of people subscriptions and stuff. Like
Yeah.
especially on dating apps. They're
Like
they're like
I'm just trying to find that line here,
they
like
put
Reggie line.
they put like $15 and it's like 40% off, but when you look under it, it's like you're going to pay a straight $122 for the year. Like, oh shit.
But, but like,
Because the issue
would
with
you
the
would
only
you spend the
option.
60 or the 100?
Honestly, I would probably pay for the 60, and over time, I would pay for the 2-pack.
And
I mean, if you're
just
all out.
and just spend the extra $20.
Like, I'd probably do that. Only because Like maybe at that point I don't have enough money, or I don't feel that I want to spend that kind of money as a bet. I want to play the game as it is in base. This is just
Okay.
me, and
Okay.
I will play the game in base, and then like if I'm really into the game, then I'll spend the extra money.
Okay.
That's
Just curious.
that was like me
I'm
when
a
I
whale.
when I that was
I'll
like me
get the
when I
whole
was
thing.
playing World of Warcraft. I did the trial. It said you can only go up to level 20. Are you enjoying the game? I was like, yeah. Might as well subscribe. So I did.
See, like, but like we've got three different ball games here: MMOs, fighting games, and free to play.
It's it all
Like a gotcha.
it's all dependent on like what are you doing with your money, right?
All right,
What are you going to do? How do you feel about the money that you have? Do you feel secure enough to spend $140,000 fucking dollars
bro. It's like,
let me finish the $140,000 on an MMO of which you become like one of the best people in the game because you paid for it, right?
fruitless. It's so fruitless.
So
But
sad.
I mean, you
It's
have
really sad.
okay, but like the money is not, or the guy's not strapped for cash. He
It's
can
No,
so
it's
sad
just
sad
because
because bro, like that's not you are not winning at life
you're not
by
winning
doing
at
that.
life here. Like, what the hell are you?
it's they compared it to gambling, right? Because you could have a lot of money and go into a casino, right? And you can gamble that money away or you can win that money back, right? But when it comes to gambling, you have a chance of winning that money back.
Exactly.
And in this case, he just wants to be entertained. And maybe people will just go to a casino to be entertained. You never know, you know?
But like I say that, but like people spend that. Well, not a lot of people, but like whales, like there's whales in every industry.
Right.
So it's like, so I'm not coming at him specifically. I'm just saying like freaking whale lords in general that do that. Like whether it's football or the casino or freaking betmgm.com sponsorship. It's just like, bro, like there's so much more to life. Like I don't care how rich you are. Like there
And
has to be something else that you can
I,
do
I know
with
that's what
all
it is.
that
It's like,
money.
what is your life amounting to at this point if you're spending that much on a
Like
game?
the only excuse to spend that much money is in my opinion is if you are entertaining more than one individual with it. Like
oh,
that has to be there has to be a split. And honestly,
Yeah.
that's not the best excuse. But if he had said, "Oh, I'm paying for my son's account, my daughter's account, and my wife's account," I said, "Oh, okay. Well, at least it's split. It's less. It's less. What the fuck?"
but
There's
it's
more people taking benefiting from it.
like at the end of the day, yeah, you're right. It's a video game.
Like that
And
man does not need 140 grand worth of content.
well, it's not even 140 grand worth of the content. It's 140 grand for I would say extra.
So he can be freaking Eins Ulgon
Yeah,
in the game.
I mean, he ultimately wants to become the ultimate ninja, and
Hey, you know what?
He's trying to be
We're
Overlord. It's
laughing
just
right
like
now. But if someone makes an anime out of this guy, he'll make bank.
it's just
like,
it's
I
just
mean,
outrageous.
he pulled up the notion like, who's to say for what anybody tells him how he spends his money, which is it's true, yeah.
I mean, I could make that argument. I mean, I could
Like,
be like,
I'm not gonna tell you like, skeptic, if you ever like land like if you land like a giant entrepreneurship, right? You started
mhm,
getting money and you get like $200,000 a month, right?
mhm,
You're essentially rich, right?
right.
Who am I to say, or anybody to tell you how you spend your money?
And my response to that is, if you're in some low key form of fashion, whether it's low key or like high key, if you're making the world a worse place, then yes,
In which
yeah.
case, this person is.
Yeah. Now, this is all my opinion. So I'm not. This is not. I'm not arguing fact. In my opinion, he is making the world a slightly worse place by being a whale lord. Yes,
It's true.
you heard it here first. then this is, and I don't speak for anyone else in this podcast. This is just Skeptic's opinion. He's making the world ever so slightly a worse place. Him and
I'm not,
him and every other whale lord.
also when I mentioned earlier too, I'm not kidding you about the fact that that money is leaving the country. I'm really not kidding about that.
He's
Like,
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Economics, man.
That money is leaving the country, so you're not wrong.
it's just
gonna
like,
lead
bro,
to higher
stop it.
prices in your
Like,
country.
stop. You're going to like people like him make it worse for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, I guess in the long like stream of things, yeah, you're right, because one, he's crushing the free to play players who are,
And
either like
and
leaving and never coming back, or just struggling to even be in there, and they have to put in like 40%, no, like 150 more hours just to keep up, where like he's getting things instantly because he's paying for it.
he's empowering these corporations.
Right. Into doing it even more. So, I mean, that's the damage there. And
Right.
like I said, he was justifying it for the sake and value of his money that he is spending
Right.
on his own time, which is not hurting anyone from his perspective.
Not directly, no, but he still is. Like, he's extremely indirectly so, yes.
His vision is very short-sighted in what
Right.
we call it, like, what
I'm
problems
trying to
he
be nice here. Like, if we weren't streaming, I would have went in. I would have ripped him a new asshole.
I should really show you the videos.
Oh, please send me the video, because
Send it to me,
I would
dude.
have called him all types of pieces of crap.
We'll watch it after this.
But all it is, it's a form of naivety, right? Because
I mean,
he's right. It's his
he's
money. He earned
obviously
it.
a smart dude for getting the
No,
amount of
but
money that he
But,
had.
but but like what he said, like he said something slightly ignorant. He's like, I'm not hurting anybody. Like, yeah, you're not going out in the street and stabbing somebody, but there's multiple ways to hurt people, and a
Yeah.
lot of them are extremely indirect.
it's not perceptible unless you're thinking long range. Like,
True.
sure, he earned the money,
Like,
but ultimately,
is Jeff Bezos hurting anybody by slowly taking over the world?
You make it sound like, like this dude has that term agenda, and I mean, Jeff Bezos obviously has done some damage, especially within his own company.
oh yeah,
And because like super rich guys like him who are in the top 0.001% have a trickling effect for whatever they do.
you know who
Like,
needs more influence in this world and is also part of that elite?
Elon Musk?
No,
uh,
Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is my idol, man.
Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett, oh my god, that guy is like one of the richest people in the world, and he's
He
still
does.
living in the same house
he does.
he had like 50 years ago or something like that with
Yeah,
his
like,
wife.
well, like
They're
people like,
living very humbly.
right, like people like Warren Buffett and like Kevin O'Leary, if you guys know
Yeah,
Shark Tank,
Kevin O'Leary. Yeah,
like super mega ultra rich people, but like they're so into the grind. They're just like, I don't need a mansion. Like, a mansion's a waste of fucking money. Like, why am I gonna buy a mansion?
Right.
The hell?
Oh, these are like super humble people. Like I forgot the name of this one dude, but he essentially had like his company. He and his wife retired to Florida in a moderate house, and he put like the rest of his money into the company that his sons inherited, and gave like the rest of the money that he knows he's not gonna do with to like charities.
yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Wow.
And
Okay. He went above and beyond on that one.
like he's
Yeah,
80,
that's
he was
really
like in his
smart.
80s, and he knew in his mind, he was like, well, I'm not going to be here long enough to
Right.
like why should I spend all this money? Like, he evidently he's not spending even like 1% a day of his money that he has to live,
Because like
because
it's
he's just too comfortable, right?
yeah, it just proof that no one needs to be that rich. Like,
And
we don't need, and this is my personal opinion. We don't really need billionaires. We don't.
Really don't.
Personal opinion here, but we kind of sort of don't. No one needs that much
Yep.
money.
billionaires is what screwed the housing here in where I'm at in Canada, where
Right.
the freaking average is 1.5 million for a freaking standalone house.
Dang.
Oh, you're in. Oh,
Dang.
you're in Cali. Woo!
No,
Canada.
no, no, no. In
Canada.
Canada,
Oh,
And
Canada.
Cali is worse
Jesus.
because their
Far
Cali
away.
is
taxes
just
and
worse,
housing is just absolutely insane.
Bro, I'll
especially
move to
because of the
Canada any
USD.
day. I, if I can live in Canada and make U.S. money. Matter of
Okay,
fact, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna
if
make
you
that a
want
goal.
affordable living in Canada, you need to go to like Saskatchewan or something.
Nah, I'm gonna move into Center City, Montreal.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no, don't do that.
Why not Toronto?
Toronto is the center of the universe. You'll never get out of there once you get into it. It's like a black hole.
Just sucks you in and you can't escape.
Pretty much.
But California used to be that, and people are now moving to Texas and Florida and Las Vegas. It's
Because,
Nevada.
bro, like a $2,000 apartment in California is what, like a room,
Plus all the wildfires,
maybe maybe 2 rooms.
True. All wild cards there.
like all like the burnings, like the
It's just-
fires, the forest fires.
yeah,
This has
but yeah,
been a very
this-
interesting take.
it's an interesting podcast on like gotcha games. Now, do you just mean gotcha games specifically, or just free to play in general? Tink,
For me, gotcha games and free to play.
'Cause-
No, because free to play games, will, I mean, if anything, they will inherently have something gotcha within. So I can't,
no,
because
no,
I
no.
can't say
No.
I've ever played
No.
a free to play game.
Warframe.
Warframe, yeah.
Do you
There
not?
is zero gotcha in Warframe.
There's no gotcha in that.
It's
Is
just
it-
free to play.
You know what you're getting.
Like
Oh, okay.
when you spend money in Warframe, you are buying something permanent. It is forever permanent.
Okay,
Yeah.
then
And,
that
and
yeah,
you
that's
know
fine.
what it is.
Then it is just a got.
It's just free to play.
Yeah, it's so like free to play is separate, and
Like,
in the
right.
gotcha system and everything is separate in itself.
Yeah.
And
So-
like gotcha is a type of free to play, but it's a specific category.
Okay, yeah, I can get down with that because
Okay.
if something like Warframe can exist, I'm totally fine with that. And I would say that my big problem out of all of that wasn't like the free to play. It was just the practice.
Okay.
It was
Okay, so your issue is with the gotcha,
right.
which there is a shit ton. There is a shit ton of gotcha.
Yeah.
games.
We all have issues with gotcha.
And
But like Sync is like it's negatively impacting gaming, which it is.
I mean, it is
It
like I mean,
It is.
I remember when I could. I remember when I had like a small little VHS little tape that was shipped into my mailbox. It was basically just a huge advertisement for Banjo-Kazooie, right? So I wanted Banjo-Kazooie real bad because of that VHS tape, and that right there is a form of preying and like a predatory practice. But it was to get my attention to a game that would eventually be something that I would love. So like,
So it was an advertisement.
it was advertisement, right? And
Think all of marketing.
so I mean, and that's why I'm saying that it's not inherently bad, because sometimes you have to do that to show something good. And that got me. I was like, Banjo-Kazooie became like one of my favorite games of all time just because of that VHS tape. I was just like, Mom, I need this. She was like, well, you're gonna have to wait till Christmas. Mom, I need this. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Get it for me on my birthday. Your birthday's in a week. Yes.
So skeptic and panic when you hear this. We need to make a game, and we need to advertise it through VHS to make sure that Sync buys it.
Mess at VHS.
Better be good. Can't just give me a VHS and be like, oh, buy our game. Poops a
I know,
lot,
right?
shit, motherfucker. And it's like,
Let
whoa,
me
that's an
just put this
interesting
into
name.
Let me just plug in my VCR real quick.
You have one? Oh my god.
I still have one too.
I can't find one.
I feel like Last Order. You're the type of person that like has like a CD player somewhere in your.
I do have a CD player still. I have a Sony Walkman, man.
Oh wow.
And And then like his iPod and
And
his MP3
like
dock is like
All right.
really
the,
sad.
I
The
think I
kids
still
in your
have that because
MP3s.
my sister didn't take everything when she moved out of the house. So I think her Backstreet, no, not Backstreet. Sorry, what's the name again? New Kids on the Block CD is still around somewhere here.
Ah, well,
Oh, shit.
well, we've come to that
Next,
point. We've actually been talking just a little bit more than we usually do, but that's ultimately fine for the length of the video. Especially since I've been watching 6-hour live streams, and I guess it's a podcast of Bellular to get to know what World of Warcraft is and what's going on over there.
He did a 6-hour podcast.
He does it all the time. His minimum is like 4 hours.
Good lord.
He has a lot. He has a lot to talk about. But you know what? I think we're gonna call it here. Everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast and listening to people yelling at me because of my opinions. But that's okay. I'm
We
used
weren't
to
yelling
Corley,
at you. We were
you're-
yelling with you.
I know, right? We
We're
were yelling with
laughing at
you. Like, no, last time I was yelling at you because poor translation.
Make everything sound bad. But if you guys want to let people know where to find you,
I live here now. I don't know.
oh, don't tell them where to find you, but tell them where to find you on the internet.
No, I live here in this apartment now. I don't know what you guys are talking about. We kicked Anima and Panic out, right?
Y'all can find me
I
here
guess he's
on the
moving in.
stream, on the podcast. I basically do live here. Like if anyone types into the chat, I will always respond any time of day.
Yes, the apartment and
I live in the podcast.
Last Order is a frequent guest.
I'm that guy.
I mean,
I'm
if he's here one more time, he's no longer a guest.
I'm an unofficial member, apparently, which I'm fine with. And I don't charge royalties, so it's all good. Yeah, but I'm gonna be streaming Warframe later today. I'm not sure what time yet, but I'm gonna be streaming Warframe at my on Twitch.
Nice.
.tv.
Twitch.tv/ Last Order Films.
Is it
One
Last Order
word.
Films and not Last Order Gaming?
No, Last Order Films. The funny thing, I had my original YouTube channel called Last Order Gaming, and then I looked up what I call this. It wasn't on YouTube, it wasn't on Twitch, but it was on Steam. I looked up Last Order Gaming, and there was a player named Last Order Gaming. It's like, what the hell? So I had to change it to like Last Order Films.
And don't forget, you could find Jay somewhere around Skeptic.
Somewhere around. Like I have him like strapped to my back, and that little child thing. I have no idea what it's called.
A
Child
baby
strap.
carrier?
Child strap. Baby carrier. There you go.
the sixth member of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the mascot.
he's got too many opinions. He's the mascot.
And obviously, you can find Syncweaver at Syncweaver everything. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter is 720 at the end, but you can find
Wait,
me there.
what is the whole thing with 720 there?
That is my
You
birthday.
really want to know? Birthday. Yeah.
It's my birthday.
Oh, I thought that was the resolution of your Twitch.
I'm I'm the 720th Syncweaver. That's what it means.
That's what I thought.
I'm only a clone.
Funny enough, I've seen someone with that name like it was like something 113, and I was like, what's the 113 for? It's like it took me 112 tries. I was like, are you serious? Like wow.
It's like all 112 of my other accounts were banned. So, but yeah, you can find us there. Thank you for visiting Apartment 814. We have your shoes here. Thank you. Visit again. We're not going to tell you to get out this time. We're just going to say, please come again.
Get out. Get out if you're a whale.
Minasan, arigato blah blah blah.
I know, right? English.
How do you say get the hell out, Wales?
Get the hell out of Wales.
Anyway, this has been Skeptic. This has been Last Order Films, who I guess is the unofficial official member of Apartment A4. Yeah, you tell him, Julie.
I really wanted to say something.
Bye bye whales. Dream of whales.
Yeah, yell at him. Yell at him. Tell him to get the hell out. Get out of my house.
Like now, a word from our mascot.
Anyway, thank you guys for visiting. Thank you guys for coming in and listening to us mumble the entire time. And we'll see you next time. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, B.
Goodbye.